Okay, we're gonna get into the serious part. I don't want to make it sound too crazy, but it is a little bit more intense from now on with the launch section. So this is based on the launch training. I'm just going to explain the handout that I've given you guys, since you've got that in your hot little hands now. The front page there, we've got a Find Your Why. This is an activity that we're going to do together. And then the next page is full of colourful, cool things that you can put on your vision board, which I'm going to encourage you guys to do. We're not actually making a vision board today, but I figured you're more likely to create one if you've got it, and all you need to do is cut it out and stick it on, right? They're really cool, hey? Yeah. That's one thing that Renee and I did on a daily basis is we looked at our vision board together, did our affirmations, balanced our chakras, and we just noticed when we did that, how much of a difference that made in comparison to the days that we didn't do it. So it's really powerful. We've got a wellness consult template there that we'll be doing as well. And so, yeah, we'll just practice how to do a wellness consult. This is a checklist, so you can check in on that, on how to actually do a wellness consult. And then on the back of that, we've got an EO 101 checklist, and just the class outline. So we're just going to choose a little part from that where we break up into groups of 4. And we're just going to be sharing the part that we find most challenging in that group. And just as practice, because practice makes perfect. But it's a bit of fun as well, just doing those group activities. So without further delay, let's launch. All right. So on your USB drives, you'll have the launch guide, and it's under a folder in your USB drive called Launch Day Resources. There's only about 5 files in there, and they're all these ones that we've got. So, and this presentation. So if you guys want to run your own launch day, you've got the presentation, you've got the resources, and you can do that. So here's me encouraging you to do that. So the whole idea around the launch guide is to show people how to launch themselves to elite. That first goal that you can work towards. And Robbers, who's been elite? Yeah, awesome. Half the room. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. You're on the way there. So launch yourself to elite, and then what you're doing is just showing others how to do the same thing. When you launch 12 elites, you become a diamond. It takes 12 elites to become a diamond. Yeah, it takes 3 elites to become a silver. So you guys get the idea of, in that concept, how simple it is to become a diamond. And you don't need any crazy perfect structure to become a silver or a diamond, really. It's all it is volume. I've had somebody become elite on their first enrollment order. Sorry, elites. But they had a lot of money and they loved the oils, and they became an elite on their first enrollment order. So 3,000. You hear some other stories about people becoming diamond in 7 days, and etc. And things like that. One entrepreneur did this. He's just, likes to do crazy things, and he just said, cool, I can see the potential here and the opportunity. And he assembled a team to launch himself to diamond, and then he encouraged his team to do the same thing. Guess what happened the month after? He didn't break his diamond. It wasn't a sustainable thing. It's not really realistic. It's not an everyday thing. So I don't teach people how to become a diamond in 7 days. I teach people how to become a diamond in 2 to 3 years. Yeah. That's a lot more achievable for everyday people, sorry.
You're going to learn so much more over that path than in 7 days. That's right.
Yeah, how can you learn
learning and being able to teach? Or...
It's an evolution.
Yeah.
You're evolving yourself and you're evolving your team. There's no quick cheat methods in this business. If you get there cheating, then you won't stay there. You haven't rightfully earned it by consciousness.
pay for all the. He got to pay for everything anyway. That all that team that he got together ordered, and like So what did he get out? He got nothing else. What did he get out of it? It's not like he was.
I don't know. Maybe made his ego feel pretty good for 7 days. It was just like, yeah. And then the next 30 days was a reality check. Oh, this doesn't work.
You have to find real people to do this.
Yeah, that's right. If I really want to make this happen, he probably just moved on to the next opportunity. Not sure. So this launch guide is based on the abbreviation of PIPES. So preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting. And it fits in with that whole pipeline theme as well. So it's really clever the way that this is being put together. So we're going to be using the PIPES method as we move through this launch training. I encourage you to look at the launch guide. I haven't printed it out for today because you've got it electronically. This does get updated as well. Each year, the guys from Share Success, they do update it, so it does change. So it's good to keep things electronic. So preparing, this is the biggest part of our session today, and there's a reason behind that. And I picked up this saying when I was reading Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Jackie's aware of it. Yeah. Great book. And he shared Abraham Lincoln's favorite saying is, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. So you can imagine, going at that tree like berserk. I'm just going to get it done. I'm going to get it stuck into it. But if your axe is blunt, you're going to take a lot longer to chop down that tree than if you just quite casually just sat there and you thought about the process, you sharpened your axe, and you're effective in your actions. So I've mentioned this before already during the Earn Your Oils for Free section of today, is getting connected and how important that is. Anybody, including yourselves, that you're referring to the oils, make sure that they're connected. They're connected. Facebook is fantastic. Not everybody uses Facebook, so perhaps establishing how they communicate, email, text, could be a phone call. Some people only do phone calls, and I guess you've got to meet people where they're at with that. You can't just say, oh, well, it was on Facebook, didn't you see it? Some people, you'll have to communicate, you have to pick up the phone. Lo and behold, what is it? What are we in, 2017? But anyway, not everybody's on Facebook, and that's fine.
Sometimes I wish I wasn't.
Yeah, the distractions. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well in the lead section, about time and how to utilize it effectively, especially with social media. Huge distraction, right? Has anybody gone down the social media rabbit warren? Find themselves scrolling and liking, and it's like, whoa, that was an hour. Holy dooly, how did that happen? So there's a couple of groups there. Highly recommend the Pure Oils group, the Share Build group, if you're sharing or building the business. doTERRA Australia is also great. They have all the incentives and events, etc. updates. The International doTERRA Facebook page is also good to be on. The doTERRA business is also good to be on as well. You get a great feed of inspirational quotes and tips and various things, which is great. There's also other amazing leaders as well. It's not just Renee and I. There's Tara Bliss, who's amazing. Jesse Reimers, Hayley Weesey, Peter Jane and Ura. They have a good social media presence and online presence. All of those people, and they're great to follow as well. So this is that whole one tree mentality, huge community that everybody is happy to help everybody out, which is really cool. And these are some of the people that we were lucky to spend some time with over in Alaska when we went on the cruise and that Diamond Mastermind, and just getting the insight to how others run their business.
Are they all Aussies?
These are all Aussies.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you've got Hayley Hobson, who's our double presidential diamond in America. And she's huge on social media. So that's somebody you could also follow who's in America that's highly successful. There's others as well, but I tend to just stick to my Australian people because it's more relevant to the Australian market. It's a little bit different between Australia, and the language is different as well. Like you guys probably noticed that with that introductory video, it's a great video, but it's still a bit American. Like I've had that feedback before. People are like, oh, it's nice, but it's American. We are a little different in Australia. We still like to speak through our noses and eat meat pies and all that sort of stuff. Ride kangaroos. Yeah, it's all good. So continuing on getting connected, we've got our monthly business meetings. You can come to Pure Oz HQ, we like to call it, or join us on Zoom. We also record. You can watch them back later in fast forward, or while you're washing the dishes. You can just listen to them. We also have our weekly team calls. Cassie has a question.
What's Zoom exactly?
Yeah, cool. So Zoom, I'm actually broadcasting this presentation on Zoom, so anybody can join our meeting, and I'm also recording today as well. So nobody, I should have asked that at the start. You guys don't mind if I record this, do you?
Yeah. Oh yes.
You do.
We need to sign a disclaimer.
You have to pay me a royalties fee of. Sorry.
As long as the camera's facing you, that's fine.
Yeah, I might do a bit of a spin later on, but I'll let you.
He loves it.
I'm actually wearing my blush today. No.
I've had trouble accessing Zoom when I'm
Is
trying
it an app?
Is it an app that you've got to download, or is it?
So the links that I share
Yeah.
on generally our groups and events, if you click on that link, it just automatically downloads Zoom and connects you to our meeting. It's really cool the way it
See, I'm not
works.
getting
It's not
that.
going to ask you to
I've
do my
clicked on
Apple ID.
load, nothing's loaded for
On
me.
what platform?
I'm just using an iPad, using it through Facebook.
Okay, so if it's not automatically happening, go to your app store,
Yeah.
type in Zoom, download Zoom, then click on the link. Yeah, and then it should semi-auto-magically happen.
Yeah, through the app you can put the meeting ID in as well.
Oh,
When
okay.
linking doesn't work, just
Yeah.
open the app once you've installed it with the meeting ID, which will be on that.
Yeah.
That link.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Belinda. And Zoom's free, so I encourage you guys to get a Zoom account. It's free for, I think it's 40-minute meeting now, and then it will just disconnect after 40 minutes. You can hold people's attention for about 30 to 40 minutes quite easily, so it's, I don't know, maybe they've done it for a reason. I'm going to try and hold your attention for 6 hours today, so wish me luck. So we also do the quarterly launch day trainings as well. I encourage you guys to invite your teams along as well, and I give my team the opportunity to present on these days. Just so happens that nobody else is available today, so you've got me, plus I have just completely rewritten this launch day training too. I am constantly trying to improve it and evolve, so that's it. There's also events. It's so powerful and important to get to your doTERRA events. Most importantly, Sydney. The tickets have just been released. Remember I said we've got a great opportunity with Sydney being on our doorstep. Get to convention, get as many people as possible, because you cannot beat the energy of a convention, of a destination event. Leadership retreat. I've sort of put these in a little bit of an order as well as to which are most powerful. Leadership retreat, unfortunately next year it's only going to be available or open to silvers and above, premier and above previously in the past, but now it's silvers and above for Australia because it's a matured market, maturing I should say. Get to know doTERRA events. So some of these have already happened. We had a fantastic one at Wombrel, and there was like 120 people or something like that, or even more. Huge. So that was really cool to see our community come together. And I'm going to be presenting in New Zealand in 2 weeks' time at Christchurch and Dunedin for those Get to Know doTERRA events. So that'd be awesome. And doing a Roman touch over there too.
Don't you need an assistant?
I might need to pack you in my bag.
You need a big bag, but I'll pay my own airfare. Oh,
Blue chances. So post-convention tour as well. This is something that's going to be coming out in November. Usually this is when they release the Australian version of the convention kit, which will be exactly the same as what they had in the US, except it won't have the birch because they make that exclusively only available for people that attend convention.
Oh, we're just talking about birch.
It is an awesome oil, but unfortunately it's not a full-time release line that doTERRA has because of sustainability, etc. So get your tickets. They've got an early release for the Sydney convention, $125 for a ticket, plus there's a gala, and then the price will go up in November. Question? Yes.
It said the weekly calls. Are we starting that up again soon?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So the last 3 weeks when we were away, I didn't do the weekly calls because I was on a cruise boat with no reception. And I was on holidays, sort of ish, doing doTERRA stuff. But yeah, we'll start those up again. I'll be in Brisbane on Tuesday, but I will commit to that weekly call, and I'll try my hardest to do the same. I'll be in New Zealand the week after, but we'll work around it. So these are must-have websites. Feel free to take a picture of this.
Is this all this stuff on the USB?
Yes, this is on the USB drive. It's in a document called must-have websites. For self-explanatory reasons. These are all really good places to get answers to questions that you guys will have, and also to invite people to find the answers themselves, because it's impossible to be able to remember. We're empowering in this business, in this adventure. It's impossible to give answers to 4,500 people, and that's how many people that are in my organisation. I can't be there, 4,500. I can't be there, and constantly increasing on a daily basis, increases by about 300 each month. So at this stage, so I can't be there to answer all of those questions, right? So we're in, I know, quite pathetic, really. Just pathetic. But you need to be able to steer people in the right direction. So these are the websites that you should be using. Right down the bottom, Jackie was just asking about our mentoring program and if other people can use that. And certainly I encourage you guys to encourage your teams to get on the mentoring program probably after you've done it, so you can guide them through it, and you can check in on a weekly basis after those manuals have been set out and reflect and provide a bit of insight on some of the questions that they might have. The way you get to that mentoring program is go to the Work With Us section on our website, pureoils.com.au, and then there's a resources link under Work With Us. Go to Work With Us, resources, and then you'll be prompted for a password. The password is Pure Oils Team, the capital at the start of each of those words, and a dollar symbol instead of the S in oils. I've actually written that on that previous slide, which I'll just go back to right now. Resources, under Work With Us, password is Pure Oils Team. So I spent a lot of time making that mentoring program. Had some good contributions from Renee and other people in the team as well. So please utilize that, get onto it. I've had a bit of feedback on it, and people have said this is kind of like the missing link. This is awesome because it's really helping people get a good understanding of what's involved and how to do the business, as well as these launch day trainings. There's other resources on there as well. You can download the 30-day mentoring program and make it your own. There's going to be a bit of work involved in that, in making it your own. So at this stage, I'll probably recommend using ours, but you can make it your own. Make your own videos, make your own links, etc. There's also a bunch of other resources there, like business cards and documents and class and workshop resources. All of these are on a USB drive. Not everybody's here today. You can get them on our website and our Google Drive. continuing on with getting connected, our monthly newsletter, you can sign up to that on our website. One of the new things on our website is there's a document called 15 Essential Oils You Need and Why. And they're just our 15 most popular oils, including the 10 in the Essential Collection, and 3 uses for each of those oils that we use them for. There'll also be an Essential Oil Starter Series, which we're working on. We're getting testimonials from all of our team. And when you sign up to that newsletter, then you'll get a series of emails for the first couple of months, just with testimonials on personal experiences from people in our team. So that's really powerful as well. And we use the little MailChimp up the top corner there. And you're part of this community that you can see, which was all up in Queensland last year for convention. Yeah, lovely team. So who here has been through or seen a success strategy? Got one hand, got a couple of nods, yeah.
I sat down maybe with 15 or at the time I went, yes, yes, yes. And then I was like, what just happened?
Yeah. And I guess that's the good thing about the mentoring program and having the USB drive and the website is you can process it in your own time, because there is a lot of information and not everybody has 24 hours in the day to process that information. And it's just a matter of just working through it. We put together the success strategy over 2 years ago now, purely as a form of accountability and expectations. I actually called it the accountability strategy when I first made it, and it seemed really daunting. People were like, oh, accountability, oh, I was just wanted to share oils and have fun. So we called it a success strategy because that's what it is. You're choosing a pathway of success. You either want to just share the oils, earn your products for free, which you've got your lovely little guide for, or you want to actively share, and this is when you have the intention to subsidize or replace your income, and then you can choose to build. This is a progressionary path here. There's very few people that will be ready to just build straight out of the blocks. There'll still be some learning process for everybody through that choosing to build straight away. Basically, it just tells you what you need to do based on some framework around what we've done and what others do and what you get from us. So it really just rules out, all of those assumptions and expectations. The success strategy also has a great checklist. Who here loves checklists? Yeah, I love them. I use priority lists. I know, you hear people say, don't use priority lists. You've got to celebrate what you've done through the day, but I'm a priority list person. Everybody does things differently. And it feels really good when you can tick those first couple of things. So everyone should have done a wellness consult. Who's had a wellness consult here? Not done one for someone else, but had somebody do one for you. Yeah? Awesome. I'm loving that I'm seeing everybody's hands go up. We can talk about this later.
Well, when I sort of have, but I never actually sat down with someone and did it, because Vicky was like, oh, Alicia was doing it, and Alicia never actually sat down. She gave me some things to do, but she never went through it with me, so I never actually got that folder, that sheet for myself. But I don't know how to do it, so.
Okay, cool. And everybody does wellness consults differently. And there's no one right way to do it. I'm more of a structured type person where I like, a framework and a sheet and a checklist and all that sort of stuff. And then there's other people that just like to flow. They get their oils out and they coat them on their bodies and just float around. And that works. That's cool. Right? That's totally cool. There's no rules in this business. You can do it the way you want. Except for compliance. Well, yeah, true. We can't go. We'll touch on that. So Renee and I, we do it very differently. We're two very different people. She's very much more flowing in nature and, hey, yeah, it's all cool. And the oils come out and there's less do this, and this. It is important to have an element of flow and just, relaxation and enjoyment. It can't be too structured. It seems too regimental. I think there's a balance. If you're going to bring structure, then you need to be flexible as well, because you start to stress yourself out when it doesn't go as planned. But it's really cool with this checklist. You can already check off some things there. So you guys seeing some things you can check off. Well done, wellness consult, bang. We're all using the products. We're all getting the experience. We've all got the Modern Essentials Guide or the Essential Life. If you don't, I've got some today. You just have to take away my laptop stand. It's a fresh batch there. There's the mentoring program and a bunch of other things that you can work through. So use the success strategy. It's on your USB drive. Enroll in our 30-day mentoring program. It's a series of 5 manuals. A lot of the content, and the reason why I've changed this launch day training today is because a lot of the content is on that mentoring program. So I wanted it to align with the content that's on there. Once again, ensure you have enough time and space, or the people you're mentoring have enough time and space to do that 30-day intensive. It is an intensive, so there's no point in somebody who's coming into a busy stage of their life, they're moving, going, all right, we're going to do the mentoring program. It's just not going to happen. Get familiar with your back office. You've all got a website. Everybody's using it. Everybody's sharing the link. Everybody's using that website to enroll people. You can find that under the My Website tab, very far right one in your back office. You can also change the URL. So if you guys have a business name, could be Charlotte's Oily Obsession, and you can check to see if that URL is available, and you can change your account's URL to be something like that. So get familiar with the back office. There's also a bunch of videos that are really cool on doTERRA University. So doTERRA.com, and then under the menu, it says doTERRA University, and there's the build section, and it's got a bunch of videos on how to use your back office. So we're going to do a little activity about establishing your why and goals. So my why is Renee found a solution in a peppermint essential oil, the first essential oil we were introduced to, as a solution for relief from irritable bowel syndrome. And that was the catalyst to just have a totally different way of looking at life and dealing with, or becoming more aware of emotional health, toxicity in our lives. For me, the oils were profoundly effective for treating or helping with aiding in sleep compliance. See that? Right? And and also bringing health and happiness to others as well. So that's my why. So we're going to break up into pairs. So grab a partner by the arm, do-si-do. You need pens? Our recording here. Go back to our presentation. So for those who are joined online and watching this but later on, I encourage you to look at that Find Your Why sheet, fill it out, and reflect with someone on that. Thank you so much, guys, for doing that. You found that useful?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. It's one of those things that sometimes does come a little bit tired, because a lot of people say, find your why. What's your why? Start with the why. But I have found the why really powerful for myself during those challenging times. Like, why am I doing this? I'm seeing the money go out. I'm not seeing the money come back in. Yeah, I'm helping some people, maybe not so many people to start with, but it's always growing. Why am I doing this? Because it's been hugely life-changing for me, and I want to share that with others. I want to make an impact. I want to make a difference. Another really important thing to do is create a vision board. And this isn't everyone's cup of tea. Not everybody is that right brain, creative, need the visual stimulation. Some people like the lists, and that's fine, just to write things down. Everybody works differently. So you guys on your handout have these beautiful colourful vision board prompts. So feel free to print those out. These are some of the ones that Renee and I have on our vision board, or had. Some of them are a little bit more modified. And you'll notice that a lot of them are I am affirmation statements. So this is based on Louise Hay's foundation of I am, and affirming in the present tense for your affirmations to come to fruition. You've got to put it out to the universe, and then the universe replies or responds that you are what you're affirming. If you're always putting it out into the future, I'll be happy when this happens, it won't happen. You need to affirm it, even though, and sometimes you need to keep those affirmations to yourself so people don't think you're bullshitting them and lying. That's how some people will perceive it. They'll be like, "I don't have a diamond. You know, you just signed up last week, you silly fool." But, you know, keep this to yourself. It's really powerful, and continue believing in it. And that's how the universe replies and responds. It's just the universal law. I highly recommend reading The Law of Attraction by Jerry and Esther Hicks. A really remarkable and intriguing book. So establish those affirmations. You can use the affirmations that are on your sheet here. Look at Louise Hay's website. Louise Hayes has been like the grandma I never had. I did live with a lovely nan. She was like a second mum, but only had one nan. She's like my other nan. She's my grandma. And when I listen to Louise Hayes, she just has this energy about her that's just such the wise old grandma that just provides some really great insight. Highly recommend listening to You Can Do It. And this is in the audiobooks folder of your USB drive. There's a bunch of good audiobooks on that USB drive that are great to listen to when you're doing mundane activities like hanging out the washing the dishes, driving the car. And it's a really good way to program yourself with powerful, empowering stuff rather than listening to 2GO Talkback Radio or other junk. Another thing that I also do is I have a mantra, and this is a mantra that I have and I use on a daily basis, just in a meditation, and remind myself throughout the day. Sometimes I might find my thoughts wandering off into something that isn't serving me well, and I become aware of that, and I bring it back to every day, or I expand in abundance, success, and love every day, as I inspire those around me to do the same. And that's just a lovely mantra that I've picked up from a book I'm just finishing now called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It's another great book. So being aware of areas that you're working on and working on them as well. One of the first things you need to do to move through something that might be a challenge in your life is firstly being aware of them and making the conscious effort to work on them. 90% of this business is personal growth and leading by example. They say that doTERRA is a personal growth company wrapped up in essential oils. If you're not working on yourself and growing yourself, then you're going to struggle in the business. If you just focused on the money or just oils, then you're going to move a little slower. You've got to also grow at the same time and echo those leadership skills. But no one is perfect. None of us are perfect. We're all working on something. But there's some great tools that you've been given on a USB drive. There's the Brad Yates videos that are on the USB drive. Have a look at them. There may be a particular area that you're working on with, confidence about sharing the opportunity, for example. There's a video on that, and go through that tapping sequence. Has anybody heard of EFT here or tried it? Yeah, everyone's got nods all around. So No. So basically what it is in a nutshell is we're tapping on meridian points, which are used in acupuncture. This has been used for thousands of years through Chinese medicine. And we work through something that we're working on. We acknowledge it as we're tapping on these points. And then we start to work through these meridian points and replace the challenge that we're working through with something that's more empowering. And we're basically reprogramming our minds and our bodies by tapping on these meridian points and working through those challenges that we're faced with. One thing you can do if you're faced with something, really emotional and difficult to work with is just tap on this meridian point here and just talk about it. If you've got a partner, or look in the mirror and talk about it. Get it out. Highly recommend a little bit of meditation and stillness on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be finding a Tibetan cave and meditating for 7 years in the nude. You can meditate at any point during the day, and the whole point of meditation is to practice, this stillness and the spaces in life, rather than constantly filling our minds with constant thought and activity. Whole purpose is to connect to those spaces as often as possible. And you can do it when you're walking, you can do it when you're washing the dishes, or at any point. I do a lot when I'm driving, which kind of concerns my wife. But it does become an automated thing that you do, and I don't need to think about the bills I need to pay, dramas, life happenings, etc. I can just connect to body consciousness, which is the path to space and meditation for me. It's different for everybody else. For everybody, there might not be body consciousness. When I say body consciousness, it's just that light emanation of energy in our body. Some people pick up on it first in our hands and our feet. It's the first thing they can connect to. For me, it was my heart and this heart chakra based area. And that's something I can tap into at any point. If I'm feeling like a little bit anxious or I'm in my head too much, I just anchor myself through my gut and my heart, body consciousness. Visualization, they talk about this in a great book by Napoleon Hill, written in I think it was in the 1930s, still relevant today. He uses a technique, or recommends a technique called mind movies or visualization. So visualizing yourself being or achieving or doing a certain thing that brings joy to you. Really, really powerful.
I'm reading that book at the moment.
Are you enjoying it?
Sorry?
You enjoying it?
Yes.
It's good, isn't it?
Hill, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up at QBD. It was like $12.99.
Awesome.
Last week.
Yeah.
While we're on holiday. Yeah.
So written in the 1930s, basically what Napoleon Hill did is he approached a bunch of highly successful people, and then he just found out what they did.
Called Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, I always get the title wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Yeah. Really good.
I usually say, I don't know. I say it wrong every time anyway. I always get corrected, but a really good book.
Yeah.
One of the books I actually recommend after reading The Slight Edge, which is my favorite, and always refer to that. Other things that I recommend that you do: exercise or movement. We are energetic beings, and we're constantly changing and shifting and moving, and we need to get that energy just flowing throughout our bodies. If we're just always stagnant and still, we don't have as much of that energy flowing throughout our bodies, and we can't vibrate in a higher plane, higher frequency. So you don't have to call it exercise. One thing that I find for me works really well is exercising on a daily basis. And I do like rigorous exercise. For some people, they don't like it and they don't need to do it. So I just call it movement. Go for a walk, do something that's just moving your body. And these are all just healthy choices that you need to make on a daily basis to move on that upward curve towards success, abundance, and love. So practicing on family and friends when you first start out. So this is my mate Eric Waugh that you can see up on the screen here. And in your build guide, you'll have 100 names list. It's also breaking up into broken up, into friends and family, work associates, everyday people like the butcher, the bike store owner that you come into contact with, and you can just write out 100 names of everybody. Don't discount anyone. Write down this 100 names list. But the first people that you can practice on that's really good to do is your friends and family. And Eric Wall has a great script that he shares in his GoPro book. I'm just starting out, and I love your support, and I respect your opinion. Would you mind if I practice on you? And what you're doing is you're just reaching out to your friends and family who, mostly, they're obliged, they have to. They're gonna get oiled. They're gonna be anointed. And they're willing to actually listen to you and help out and provide a bit of feedback, hopefully, too. So it's a great way to start out practicing on your friends and family. So as a little bit of a fun activity, I want you guys to stand up, because we're talking about exercise and energy and movement and all that sort of stuff. And just stand on the spot, bounce on your feet, and just shake your hands a bit, get that energy moving, get the body pumping. And then I want you to turn to your neighbour while holding your tongue and say, "I'm just starting out." Awesome. Love it. Okay. Now who needs some wild orange to wash their hands? If anybody's a germaphobe, there's some on yard. You can pass it around. So that's a bit of fun. So if you guys want to just take a short 1-minute break, just have a breather, have some oils, have a drink of water. You can have a wander outside as well. It looks like it's actually turned into a nice day, which is always good.
Short woman break, him a minute.
Okay, welcome back. Okay, we're feeling all pumped and energetic, ready to go. Oops, when I find my mouse, there it is. So we're going to get into the inviting portion of our launching part of our training today. And we're going to be talking about sharing the oil opportunity, inviting people to learn more, perhaps even just sampling an oil, and also reminding people to attend as well, which is a crucial part of the invitation process.
doTERRA, you're interested in doTERRA. We need to get some oils on you. So here, smell me. Here, breathe this in. Breathe this in. You're going to be my builder. I'm so excited. Here, 3 things about oils. They're natural. They're faster. They're less expensive. CTPG. CTPG. You can use them in the air. Put them on topically. You can take them internally. Here, let me dump some down your throat right now. Here, tip your head back. Tip your head back. Come on. Oh, gas chromatograph. Mass spectrometry. Do you have a headache? Do you have a headache? Oh, I'll give you a headache. Here. That'll get the past tense. Let me hit you in the head. I'll hit you in the head. You need to get the power 3. We got to talk about power 3. Do you have any sore muscles? Are you sore right now? You need deep blue. We can get some deep blue if you're sore. And then you need balance. You need balance every day. And you need LOV. LOV, you got to have LOV. You got to look young. You got to feel young. Do you want to look young like me? You need more energy. You need less pain, more mitochondria, less inflammation. You need to look young. You need to feel young. New year, new you. Terrazyme, Centricrit, On Guard, Mitamax, GX, PB. You're my new builder. Big hug. We're so excited. We're going to build. Sorry about this. We have no oil for that.
I seriously feel like that's me. It's one thing I kind of not scaring people off, but they don't go against all the information.
That's me, crazy oil lady.
So that's how we don't share.
Because pretty impressed.
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready to sign up. Yeah, so it's great to have enthusiasm. Yes, have enthusiasm. But don't fire. Don't fire hose people, because you will turn them off. They'll just be like, whoa, crazy oil person. And it's really an opportunity of these doorways of openness concepts. It is a progressive journey for people. This is taken from The Edge Success, which is another audiobook that's on your USB drives. It's a 4-part series from Seth Reisenmate, which is the guy you'll also see present on the Financial Pipeline. And another dude whose name surpasses me right now. But it's really good. It's fun, it's entertaining, and it's really practical, and I have some really good tips in there. So with this doorway of openness, it also provides us to sort of step back a little bit and realize that it is a progressive journey for the majority of people. Yeah, we want to manifest and attract builders and people that are open to sharing doTERRA oils and the opportunity. But not everybody is going to be ready to do that from the start. Just like the dog was saying, you're my new builder, Mito2 Max, Mitochondria, let's go, power free. I'm going to just inundate you with all this information. But it's a lot more inviting when you just share your why with somebody and you tell them how the oils have changed your life, or your wife.
That's how she puts it in reverse and not drive.
Yeah, just facing down towards us. And just saying, would you be open to trying a sample? That's usually the first port of call that we go for. Is we want to allow people to have an experience with the oils. That's one of the main objectives during an EO 101 is giving people experiences with the oils, both or the 3 main ways: aromatically, topically, and internally or orally. One thing that I use as a technique that I've picked up from Eric Waugh is the if I would you. So this is a strategy or a technique that I use at my markets. And if I give a sample to someone, I say, if I gave you a sample of Ice Blue, would you mind if I just check in with you in a week's time and just see how you're going with that? And what I'm doing is I'm giving them something in return for me that I can follow them up with. If you just go around willy-nilly just throwing oils everywhere and just hoping it just returns, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be as effective as if I would you. So you're getting their contact and you're following them up, and you're not saying, well, you're going to buy, you're going to sign up now. I gave you a sample. Come on. There's the dotted line. What's going on? You just, how you going? Just checking in to see how you went with that Ice Blue. Oh, I haven't used it yet. I'm not sure how to use it. Okay, well, just tap the back of the bottle twice. That's equivalent of 1 drop. Maybe put some FCO with it, or combine that with the Ice Blue blend sample that I've given you, and put that on the areas of concern that you've got pain. And then do you mind if I just check back in a week's time just to see how you go, or tomorrow, whenever it suits you? And then they've had an experience by then. And then that's an opportunity for you to go to the next question, which is, would you be open to learning more about essential oils? I've got a class scheduled on this day. Would you like to come along? Yes, I would love to come along and learn more. This Ice Blue has been amazing. I've been trying to find a solution to this for the last 5 years. Awesome, come along. And once people have come along, they've had an experience, they're using the oils, you've shown them the benefits of the loyalty rewards program, and they realize there's an opportunity there because they've been to an EO 101 and you've always shared the opportunity. This is one thing I'll touch on. You have to always share the opportunity. Last time I checked, nobody died from a no, or you're just planting the seed and saying you can just live, share, or build. It's just putting it out there, right? And some people will be open to sharing, hosting a workshop, and you want that. You want to make that as easily accessible as possible. You want to earn your products for free? Cool. You want to supplement or replace your income? Cool. Would you be open to learning more about this? So these are some scripts and some questions that you can ask people and realize that it is a progressive journey. Claire has a question.
Yes, I'm glad you noticed that. With the sample thing, you said like about the if I would you, if they don't want to give you their contact, do you say, well, you know, I'm not going to give you a sample, then kind of thing? Like, what would you do in that situation?
Yep.
If they weren't willing to give you the contact, like, because if they're not willing, to, they are open to learning. You know what I mean? Like, what would you do?
Yep. So I've only ever had that once, and I just said, okay, well, then unfortunately I can't provide a sample for you if you don't want to give me your contact. And guess what? I didn't die. Neither did they.
Yeah. I just wonder like how effective it is. Like how. Yeah, that's something I really need to work on. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll give you a sample, but then like I forget to ask for the contact. Like if I
make sure up front, if you just say, I'll give you a sample, then there's nothing in return. And then you've got to go back and it's a little awkward. So straight up, remember, if I would you. Yeah. And it works. And when you straight up say that, because it's a two-way street, right? Don't go around just giving away heaps of oils and putting yourself out. You need to make it worth your while. So everyone's comfortable with the doorways of openness and realize it's a progressive journey. It's not, we're going to build power 3, union level, dynamic compression. You'll scare people off. So I wanted to also touch on how to invite effectively. I've underlined this first point, and I found this really important and powerful for myself and other people in our team, other leaders. Vicky Drennan, for example, she'll always have a month in the future of scheduled events planned. And she can always invite people to future exposures. So because it's a progressive journey, people might come to the intro workshop first. They come along to the intro workshop, and then people will go, oh, well, you've got something on emotions. I'm interested in that. I've got a 14-year-old daughter. We need to come. And they'll come along to the emotions workshop. So it's really important to have these scheduled out so you can invite people to those continued exposures, continued learning. That's all we're doing, is we're just providing people with learning opportunities. If you're not at the stage or you don't have the time and space to have those scheduled events or the confidence to present on certain topics, invite them along to your uplines events, to mine, to Vicky's, to Jodie's, to whoever's team that you're in. And you have Diane as well, Nicole Thomas, all of these people that are doing these workshops on various topics. Make sure your language is always positive and simple. You don't need to impress people with cool words like sesquiterpenes found in frankincense and things like that. Maybe to the aromatherapist, just to realize you do know something about essential oils. Make it personable as well, and relate to people. Tune into their what's in it for me. I call it WFM. There's no point in me talking to Cassie about arthritis when she needs help with her gut. It's just not going into her field of inception. She's just like, okay, boring, might help my nan, but not me. So here's a couple of scripts that I've got for you. So if you're ringing somebody, hey, I have a reason or a purpose or a reason for reaching out to you. I was wondering if you're open to natural health solutions for you and your family, or are you open to learning about natural forms of healthcare? Another one would be, would you be open to using essential oils to take care of your family naturally? Have you heard about natural health benefits, the natural health benefits of essential oils? And when people ask you, oh, what's been happening? What's been going on? I see you're posting some stuff about that essential oil stuff. It's an opportunity for you to say, I do the most amazing thing. I change people's lives, or I help people be proactive about their health with natural health solutions. Some things that you can say to be positive and energetic and enthusiastic about what you do. You've got to own it. Got to own it. Can't be, oh, it's just a scheme. It comes back to this commitment thing, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that. It's really important to, you're going to do it, you've got to commit to it. You can't just be bumbling around going, oh, well, just going to see where it goes, see where it happens, and maybe. Where do you think that'll go? Not very far, not very fast. So be energetic and enthusiastic and positive about it. Vanessa, Jean, and Paul Ovens. Does everybody know who they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, the beautiful presidential diamonds from Western Australia. They've got a 3-stage invitation process that they use. And this may not be the case for everybody. They recommend number 1 is a personal invite in the form of a piece of paper, something that somebody can stick on their fridge. It's personal, might have a personal message. I was thinking of you when I had this upcoming class, and I thought that you could really do with the information to help with your insert health concern here. Yeah. And they find that personal invitation, whether it be face-to-face, over the phone, a piece of paper with a personal message on, is the most effective. It's not the case for everyone. Keep on saying that. I think that's the 3rd time I've said that. Just want to reiterate it, because some people's network, they communicate via Facebook or via text or via email. And that may be the more effective form of communication. If you're struggling with a form of communication, try another one. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing again and again and expect a different result. Thanks, Einstein, for that one. But it's amazing how many, sometimes we catch ourselves doing that. It's just like, it's not working. Why not? I'm just going to do it again. Try something different. We have found text messages ourselves personally really effective. This day and age, people are busy, and just to look at a text message, read it, and to be able to respond to it, we've found that really effective in inviting people and following people up. Phone calls, they're far more personal, and there's less opportunity for misinterpretation of text messages and SMS and PMs and all that sort of stuff through Facebook, etc.
What do you do when you send someone a message, like a text, and try to call them, but they just won't answer you? Like, because I've got several people that have told me that they're interested. Like, they came to a class and they were all acting interested, and like one of them took home a spray and she's like interested in that, but she's like not actually responding. And I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be like that person that's always contacting them, trying to get in their face. So I'm like, I don't want to like push, but I don't want to just like leave it. But I know that she has concerns. I want to be able to say, I can address these for you, but I just don't know how to do that. Maybe I just need to wait until she contacts me, because like I'm thinking about contacting the person who did the class, because like I'm friends with her. Just saying, can you maybe just message them and just see where they're at, because it may come better from a friend than someone who's trying to sell you something.
If somebody isn't responding and they've said they're interested, don't continue just to bang on their door and pester them, because it will be portrayed as being pestered and desperate if you continually send them a text every day, call them repeatedly, send them Facebook messages, etc. Write it down in your active contact list, which you should have. It could be just your contact list on your phone, and you write it in your notes and say, this person has said that they're interested in doTERRA essential oils, and on this date, I've sent them information. And then you come back to your active contact list and you just go to the next stage of, because you said that you're interested, I'm just letting you know about some workshops that are up and coming. Or if you need some samples, to let me know if there's anything in particular interested in, I'm happy to help. You continue this, over intervals, not every single day. Maybe it might be, once a month, once a fortnight, something like that, until, say the 3rd, 4th time, and just say, this is the last time I'll be reaching out to you. if you need anything or you're still interested in learning more about the oils or sampling, then please get in contact with me. And you're just putting the ball in their court. There's no point in just continually, stressing yourself out and pestering the person who said, yeah, I'm interested. And they might have just been saying that just to be nice. You don't know. And it's not worthwhile wasting your energy on somebody who's not getting back to you and not replying or not coming along to your intro courses.
Yeah, it's just hard when you don't, I don't have too many people, people kind of, I don't get people saying no all the time, but it's more, I don't get a lot of people saying that they are genuinely interested. So then when these people are telling me that then they're not responding, I'm just like, I just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to sign up and do all this. I just want to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
So no options. But yeah, I know. So
write them down, write some notes.
Yep.
Don't pester them. Let them know that you're getting in contact with them because they said they want it, they are interested.
Yep.
And you're putting the ball in their court. And you're affirming, I'm attracting people who are interested and need these oils.
Yeah.
Just be aware of those words and what you're putting out there. So I touched on the WFM before. This is a great invitation script that is straight from Paul and Vanessa's invitation methods. I've been thinking of you, and I know you have some challenges with your health concern. One of my good friends has experienced some similar challenges or things. It doesn't necessarily have to be about you. And they told me about their experience with essential oils, and I immediately thought of you. I'm holding a workshop on, insert date here, and would love you to come along, and I can't wait to see you. Oh, I hope you can come. The oils, they work for some people. See the difference in the energy and the words. The language is everything. So just use these scripts, even if you just write them out or have them in front of you on the phone, and just practice them to start with. It's a new skill that you're learning. And this can also be used for people who are hosting workshops for you. So you can provide these scripts for people who are hosting workshops for you. The second stage of this invitation process is sending an SMS 2 to 3 days before the event. Once again, using the positive language, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I'm super excited to share how amazing these oils, how much they've changed my life tomorrow, today, tonight, on the day, etc. And then the third stage is sending out a post or an image. It could be via Facebook, the event that you've created, or it could be via SMS if you're not a Facebook person. Just saying, here's the amazing bliss balls or the hummus dip that I've created, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Can't wait to see you. So once again, you're showing people the effort that you've gone to. This is an invitation and part of the coaching, the host process that I do for people that are hosting workshops for me, and I'm presenting at. I say, I'm sure, like everybody, you want your event to be successful. And for that to happen, there's just a couple of things that we both of us need to do to ensure that you have a successful event. And that's just doing these couple of things, using these scripts, making some bliss balls, getting excited about your guests coming along. They're going to get 20% of the sales that's for the people who are coming along to their event. So they want people to be there, and they want people to be just as enthusiastic about the oils as they are.
Sorry.
And same with you.
The host gets 20% of the event?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more about that in a bit.
Okay.
So these are just some examples of some pictures that Renee and I have sent out on social media leading up to an event. So Renee, down the bottom or on the right-hand side of the screen, she did an emotions make and take workshop. And all she did was just took a picture of some of the labels and rollables and sprays, and just said, looking forward to seeing you guys. Just a reminder, it's at this time. These are some of the blends we'll be making today. For me, on the left-hand side, I did an aroma touch day, had it all nicely set up, and just sent out a message to everyone saying, looking forward to seeing you. Here's the setup. Awesome day. Bliss balls as well. There's some bliss balls that have been made up for an event. It's you can show people that you've gone to the trouble of doing that. So coaching the host, this is really, really important, right? If you just allow somebody to completely, and it's not the case with everybody. You know, for some people are just the social butterfly, they're just natural. You know, they bring together people so well, and you don't need to do anything. Like, you still have the things there, but they've just gone and done it. It's just like, yeah, done that, did that, done that. And then there's like 20 people at your event. They're like, whoa, this is awesome. But for some people, they need a little bit of assistance. So that's why we have the coach the host email that we just send to them. And we follow up with a phone call and just go over the content. The coach the host email is on your USB drives. It's on the resources section of our website. It's on the Google Drive. And basically it just says, you know, if I want this to be successful for you, can we do these things together to make sure that it's good? You can create a Facebook group, you can add me, people can ask me questions, etc. Send a reminder, take a picture of your bliss balls. Here's the recipe the day before to send it to your people. And there's more obligation to come along to something like that, rather than, oh yeah, just doing this oils party thing, and you know, if you want to come, you can come. And people would be a lot more dismissive to that than, can't wait for you to come, can't wait to share these oils with you, and I've made these awesome bliss balls, and it's going to be really fun. How's everybody going with inviting?
Awesome.
Good.
Amazing.
Blissful.
That's
good.
It's making me feel like bliss balls.
All these pictures of bliss balls, I feel like bliss balls. I was actually going to make some, I just ran out of time. So keep practicing with the inviting thing. To be honest, it is one of the more challenging aspects of sharing. And it's a skill that you guys will just get better and better at each time you do it. And sometimes you'll do it and you'll do everything perfect to a T. So Byron, I did the 3-stage process, and it was just, everything was by the book. But guess what? Nobody turned up. And sometimes that happens. Or sometimes one person shows up, and I love those workshops. It's a one-on-one opportunity to change somebody's life. And some of the most profound workshops I've had have been one-on-ones or small groups, real small, intimate groups. And you change someone's life, and they bring along their friends, and bring along their network, and you have the opportunity to impact more lives. So just keep it up, keep practicing, keep refining those skills, and don't discount those one-on-ones and those small intimate groups. They're really powerful. So presenting, who here has presented or ran a EO 101 class?
Done.
Yeah.
Trying to get
No,
classes.
Rob's done some. Yeah. Cool. So we've got a bit of experience. Jackie has ran one. Awesome.
I did, and I ran 2 workshops last week.
Fantastic. How did they go?
Crazy.
Crazy. It's like that when you first start out, hey?
Yeah.
It gets easier. And I've got a checklist that just helps with sanity. Because at first,
I had it before last
Orange
week.
checklist for sanity.
yes, you want sanity, you need a checklist. And then you don't need a checklist after a while. And you know, sometimes you might miss some things.
Just never thought I'd hear you say that you don't need a checklist.
Well, I picked the mental checklist. So we're going to go over presenting, things that you can say, how to make them effective. And we're going to do a little bit of a practice as well. So get out of this sanity room and take the straitjackets off, get outside, go in the sun, and just present a portion of the workshop or the class that is most challenging for you. Not the part that you're best at, the part that is most challenging. We're going to break into 2 groups of 4. Keep it simple is my first piece of advice. And always use the local empowerment kit. And make sure you've got your resources prepared. So I've got a bit of a guide here with some of the things that I take to a class. And I'm constantly just trying to make this as simple as possible for me and also for other people to digest as well. Because you make it all complicated, then it's hard for you to achieve, and it doesn't look enticing for people to share as well. If I pick up a local empowerment sheet and I just go blah, 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 read a little bit about the oils, share my experiences, and make it really simple, if people go, I can do that, that's easy. And yeah, PowerPoint presentations are great. And we used to do PowerPoint presentations, but we do all of our EO 101s via the local empowerment kit without a presentation. Now we keep it super simple. And there's great power in that.
Yeah.
Does everybody have local empowerment kits? Know where to get them?
Just
Awesome.
Are
$30.
Are the new ones, are you getting the new ones yet? Because somebody put on Facebook that they ordered one a couple of weeks ago and they got the old one.
I
They get
haven't-
the new one with the new invitation. Like,
I haven't got the new ones yet.
No, so I'm holding off because I've still got heaps of the other ones. So I'm-
Did it say it was actually out or that it was coming out soon?
I haven't heard of a date. They usually, what they would do is just as soon as they're out of the old ones, they'll replace them with the new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are still good. The main thing that's gonna change is you see how I've stapled them all together here, and I actually recommend stapling them in this order: class outline, the wholesale price list with kit options on the back, and the price list on the back. And then I also put the drawing entry on the front as well. And this is in the EO 101 resources folder on your USB drive, that drawing entry. And I use that drawing entry just to get everybody's contact details, what they want to find out more information about. There's even a little disclaimer and liability thing down the bottom there, which is good to have. I've never really needed that. And I don't have fear around that. But it's always good just to have a little bit of a waiver. But we use that drawing entry to go in the raffle to win something like a natural purpose or not natural multi-purpose cleaner. Show people how to make it, have a little bit of fun, and do a little raffle at the end, and then somebody walks away with that multi-purpose cleaner. And that's that costs a couple of bucks to make, so it's a very small investment for something that's really powerful. Some other things that I've got here that I take along: always take an essential collection, because that shows people what they're getting. So the two most popular kits, remember, are the Essential Collection and the Home Essentials kit. I also take along products that I'm passionate about, being the Lifelong Vitality Pack and DDR Prime. I always take those two because that's something that I use on a daily basis and have seen amazing results with. Amazing.
Amazeballs.
I also take some mini modern essentials guides for anybody who gets a kit on the day. And I also take my wild oranges, which I get in my empowerment kit. This is actually the cheapest way to buy wild orange, by the way. So if you're a wild orange fiend, this is the cheapest way to buy a wild orange.
Where do you get our little booklets from?
These booklets come from Aroma Tools.
Do you give those away with the kits?
I do.
Yeah.
They work out to be $1 prior to giving these out. And sometimes they're not available. I just give out the 150 uses guide or our new guide, which you get from our website, 15 essential oils you need and why. And that's just a really simple guide. Yeah, absolutely. And other things that I also always take at least the Essential Life. I'm more recommending the Essential Life book now, because remember, the book is the expert, the oils are the star, and you're the medium. So, you're taking yourself out of the spotlight. It's a little less daunting. letting the oils.
I
bring the
give that as a
stars.
host gift normally.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then other people, other people look at it and think, oh,
Yeah.
and I do
Just
tell
like
them
a
that I
mini
sell them
version
as
of
well.
it.
But
Yeah.
they're like,
Okay, that's really fun. Like, I would recommend it, but I never actually see one buying it.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, I'm like, $7 here, do that with kit and like that, and they probably went off and already.
exactly. Yeah. So they're ready to use their kit. As soon as they get it, they can look up health concerns straight away in here and get use out of their kit. So it's really powerful. Also take a couple of roller balls and I just sell them for $2 because sometimes you go to workshops with mums and bubs and they need to have their fractionated coconut oil. They need their fractionated coconut oil and they need their roller balls to make it convenient just to put the oils on the bottom of the kids' feet. They always need to dilute. So they'll always want to put fractionated coconut oil on with their Essential Collection or Home Essentials kit. Also take some sample vials as well, because sometimes on the day you'll have somebody who just needs oils. They might be going through something emotionally traumatic, or they've got a chronic health concern and they need support on the spot. So it's really nice to just say, here, take this, use this oil, and you'll get your kit in a couple of days.
That's actually one of the reasons I'm surprised. Because when I did the class, one of them was with my friends, and one of them had like that, had too much chocolate and a bit chilly. We gave him some digestion, and I asked him, Morta was in the class, as to how are you feeling? And she goes, yeah, I don't have it anymore.
Excellent.
And I was surprised that she isn't like, because she was the one saying that she is interested. But then, I don't know, like it just surprised me that she's not.
She'll come around when she's ready. Yep. Lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
Good lesson in life. So Living Magazine and a couple of other goodies that I give to the host. So Rob was saying that she gives the Essential Life book as a host gift.
If that or the commissions, like you're going to talk about the
Yeah. Yeah. So just touching on the enroller host, the host is the enroller. I suggest always enrolling in the host's name. You get 10% if you're in their enroller, and they get 20% as long as they have 100 PVLRP. Now there is the option if they're not interested in earning commissions at all, then you can give them a book. I do still suggest that it's better to make the host the enroller. What you can do is you can be the enroller and then you can gift people to the host in the future and always place people underneath the host that are part of their network. But that is one strategy. You could do that when it comes to placements. We'll talk a little bit about that. But what Renee and I have recently started doing with good success is putting these little host goodie bags together. So we say to people, if you host a workshop, we give you a host goodie bag, and it's got things like the Living Magazine, some invites, samples for them to give to their potential guests, some other samples for them to use, like the toothpaste, the shampoo, and the ice blue.
You can buy that samples.
Yeah, only from the US though.
Right.
Yeah, a rollerball as well. So your host is getting some really cool things and getting informed about how to use the essential oils, and they're going to be
Can you buy those?
from the US as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just an idea that we do for the host gift.
Products like that on the Australian market?
As the Australian market matures, yes, absolutely, because they are slowly working towards being a completely separate, independent market, and it'll constantly improve in the way that and things that we have available. So there'll be more wellness supplements available and things like that. We'll have the complete product range available to us through the Australian market. And I also suggest taking some other relevant material as well that's relevant to the audience that you're presenting to. So you might be presenting to a group of mums and bubs, and it's good to take along Stephanie Fritz's book, Essential Oils for Birth Babies and Beyond. Or it might be a group that is they have pets, and it'd be good to take the dog oil book along. So it's good to take a couple of additional resources too. So these are some things to say when you're opening. So welcome and thank you for coming along to your event is always good, rather than jumping straight into your why and anointing people. So just a nice welcome. Thank you for coming along. Thank the host for hosting the event. And one of the things that I always make the time and effort to do is setting the intention. And one thing I like to say is, at no point do I want you to feel like you're pressured to buy anything. This information session is purely for your education and information, and I'm just here to share some personal experiences about the essential oils. And then what that does is that just completely takes the pressure off people that don't feel like they're like protecting their purse, or they're poised to run out the door when the class finishes or anything like that. There's no pressure to buy. And when you take the pressure off, you'll find that people are more compelled to want to get a kit. And so yeah, don't feel like you need to set that intention and put that expectation on yourself and others for them to have to get a kit that day. People will run for the hills. Write down everyone's name and ask what they want to learn. So you're tuning into their WFM straight away at the start of their class, and you're just saying, what would you guys like to get out of today? Because you might not know. You could be thinking that you've come to a workshop full of mums and bubs, and they want to find out about how to use the oils for their babies and children. But in reality, they would really like to use the oils for sensuality. Doubt it. Just a little bit of a joke there. Sorry, bad one. So you want to go around the room and say, can you please just share your name and just a short sentence about what you'd like to get out of today. And that just gives you a really good opportunity to just customize the workshop. Because like I was saying before with Cassie, there's no more point in me talking about arthritis when she wants to hear about gut health.
Some people haven't really got any expectations, though, what they want to get out of the day, have they? They kind of come along and know anything about it. So does that kind of put people under pressure to say something,
Yeah. So if you find, you'll soon find, straight away, as soon as you enter a group, and a good power in doing this and asking the group is usually they have similar things that they're interested or concerns, because they're similar in personality, etc. And if it turns out to, I don't know, those smell good, then you can just say, look, if you're not sure what to expect out of today, then you can just say that you're open to learning and finding out more about these oils. That just takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
But open's great.
I had I normally have a sheet, and I sort of pass it around, and people write, and then so I've got their contact details or whatever that way as well. Even if they don't do anything that day, I can contact them in the future. But I had one girl, and on the end of it, there's a thing, and I just say, write down what your what you want to address. If you've got any issues, health issues or concerns or whatever. And one girl wrote down, I just came for the wine and cheese.
Yes. Yeah. I had,
well, she's being honest.
Yeah. And it can be a bit of a light joke as well. It's like, yeah, good on you. I'm glad you're being honest.
She did, actually. She did. She bought one of the small, the home essentials. Essential, what's that one? The one?
Central Collection.
Central Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're coming for that, and then you go, actually,
yes,
like hearing primary
because
words.
we all had a joke about that. Because some of the hosts looked at it and she went, whatever the girl's name was, she went, trust you to write that. I thought that would be something I would write, wouldn't it be? She said, trust you to write that. Ha ha, everyone had a good joke, because they all knew each other. Everyone had a good joke, and they all said, oh, I should have written that. That's why I'm here as well. Or,
Truth comes out, everyone.
But, yeah, but it was really quite funny. But yeah, she ended up buying the Central Collection.
And that's the power of EO 101 and a group of people, especially friends and acquaintances coming together, because people do things in groups. Someone's like, oh, are you gonna do it? Oh yeah, I'll do it. Oh, all right, I'll do it. and they all do it together, and they all grow and learn and share their experiences together.
They don't want their friends to have an essential collection of that thing.
No, but nobody wants to miss out.
Yeah.
No way.
That's right,
Just
because
in
they're
case
the
they
ones that are
really
left
do work.
behind them, like everybody's using their
Yes.
oils and getting and when you use them, you speak about them. You can't help it, you get
Yes.
together and you speak and they're just going to be left
Yes,
behind.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and they also support each other as well. You find that there's one book nerd in the group, and then there's one crazy lady that just puts oregano on their children's face and stuff like that. And then the book nerd goes, oh, that's actually quite a hot oil, and you need to dilute that. And you only use that on the bottoms of your feet or in a veggie cap, and burns off warts, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So they're all supporting each other in that group, which is beautiful.
Just a quick question, kind of going along with this. What would you say to someone that says, "Oh, I have no health concerns"?
Yep.
Because obviously
Oh, yeah.
everyone's going to have some sort of health
Emotion.
concern, but it's just not. Yeah, but I mean, like, because I talk to people.
I just say that's okay. That's fine. I'll just tell you a little bit about some of the uses of the oils, and if something comes up for you, then that's great. You
can say
don't have to
make
force
them feel
people.
better, like lemon in your water is going to be sort of energizing or cleansing and things like that.
Yeah, just because like I've had a few people say that, and like whether it's at the market store or just generally, and like I talk about how it's natural, alternative to medicine or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, I've got no health concerns, and so I'm not
Oh,
going
God.
at that.
I
Like,
didn't know there was anybody that existed.
But, like,
any.
Yeah.
if you
That
think about it,
is
sometimes you might be there like, oh, I'm not living
Yeah.
right now. I feel
We need a
good,
realization
and
blend.
You have like a headache, or you have something, but you're not thinking about that at the time. Like,
Yeah,
it
you
not
can
be
use the
any.
products in their home for cleaning products. And
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
more natural
Yeah, that's
and
true.
stuff.
They need to have a class so that you can find some health concerns.
Most class and I'll find you.
I'm sure you've got health concerns. I'm coming to your house, I'm doing a workshop and I'm finding them.
I'm a fly on the wall. I really want to see this
Yeah, because those
perfect
people
picture of
don't-
health.
Those people don't exist, unless it's Byron and Renee, they don't.
No, definitely not. No, for sure. We're all working on something emotionally, physically,
Yeah.
um,
Ongoing thing.
and like Cassie said, if it's not something that they're emotionally or physically aware of, because there's always something,
Yeah.
you don't need to say that to them. You don't need to say, hey, you, don't bullshit me. You're working on something.
Your friends say you're a bitch, so obviously you need something to chill out there.
It's true what they said about you. I'm pretty sure there are like, deep bitch bands and
I
stuff.
guess
Yeah.
what you can always say is like, you may not have a family member or a friend
Exactly.
Yes.
Bang on. Perfect. So good.
Yeah.
Just got my
Or
hair
you might
right
have in the
there.
future.
Yeah.
There you'll have your arsenal ready to go.
And you'll probably find people that don't have health concerns and are a picture of health, as you can see portrayed before you, know all the health concerns about everybody else. Yeah. So things to say when you're opening. What I do is I quickly go over the handout and I explain that, and I just say, I've just handed this out. On the front sheet, you'll see there's a drawing entry. If you can just fill that out for me, and you'll go into a prize to win whichever prize you've got. The first page on the front there, you'll see you've got the class outline. And down the bottom right-hand corner is a space for your top 3 health priorities. And what I offer people is a free wellness consult for anybody who gets a kit tonight. And we go over those 3 health priorities in more detail, and I'll show you how we can use the oils to address them. Flip over the back of the page and our class outline continues. And then on the price list, I like to call the wish list. We're going to be talking about 10 oils tonight, but you can also put a love heart or a tick or an asterisk next to some of the oils that we talk about that are of interest to you and you'd like to get. On the back of that page is our kit options. Now we'll be talking mostly about the Essential Collection and the Home Essentials kit. They're our 2 most popular kits. So the 10 essential oils in there will address just about every health concern in average family home. Then on the back page, we have our enrollment form. And at the end of our class or workshop, I can come around and help you fill that out. See how I just owned the enrollment form? So don't shy away with it. Don't go, oh yeah, there's a thing on the back.
If you want to do
So-
that, then yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to come around, I'm going to help you fill that out. So what I'm doing is I'm assuming the sale, and I'm also just doing a brief description about what's in front of them so they know what you're doing, what you're talking about. If you just give it to them and start launching yourself into oils, then they don't really know what to expect. So people like to know what to expect. I think I covered everything in that slide there. Remember, you guys get this slideshow, so you can always go back to it and have a look at some of those things. So remember that facts tell and stories sell. So I love my science, and I was one of those book nerds that like read the modern essentials. The Essential Life wasn't out when we first started. And I read the modern essentials, and I read all the science, and I was like, there's constituents and sequesterpenes and monoterpenes, and I was just like, this is awesome. And the chemicals, but look at the chemical structure, it's amazing. But not everybody's into that. And yeah, no, you guys are looking at me going, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And people resonate far better with just practical experiences that you've had, and the other people, third parties that could be in your team, that could be in your family, that you just share, and you can relate to people far more practically rather than talking about the constituents and the chemical makeup of the essential oils and how it interacts with your emotions or your physical body, etc. Not everyone. Generally, this is why people go to doctors, because the doctors know all that science stuff and they just want to get better. They just want to feel good. So that anecdotal evidence, those experiences that we're sharing with people, that's what resonates. That's what people relate to. Make sure you share any promos on doTERRA. As you know, very generous company. They've always got promos. This month, Australian enrollments, you get 50 free product points, and you also get 50 product points as the enroller. And they don't need to go on LRP or anything like that. It's just here's 50 product points, and you can claim those product points through a standard order or a loyalty rewards program order, which is really cool. There's also all the new US products, and there's also the 3 free oils that you get, Serenity, Balance, and Citrus Bliss from America with any 200 PV order. So I think that's going to be a good one.
First American order this month.
And On Guard.
And On Guard.
And the 5 mil.
That's
Yeah.
the product of the month for the US.
Oh, I wasn't sure that there was the product of the month.
Yeah, so you get 4 freebies.
You know though that if you order Australian and US, I don't think that's what you're doing, that you only get 1 free product a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I heard about that. You need to know that, and so she ordered both and missed out on one she actually wanted.
I'm only doing the US one this month because that's going to be way enough anyway.
Mm.
So
That
I
would
just
be
found
the
out about that.
divorce court.
But anyway.
I'll have my oils to pick your company.
Yeah. Just get that D-Beach blend out for him. Yes.
No, it's pretty cool.
Do you suggest we start covering those themes before we talk about the oils themselves, isn't it?
So this is some things that you start to, like, during the course of your workshop, the things that you're covering. So just sharing the personal experiences. The promos and incentives, I usually save them towards the end when people are making choices about their kits, and you can just say, oh, this month they're offering this for free, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm just thinking if someone is brand new to all of these, wouldn't they feel a bit overwhelmed with so much information?
Absolutely. I'm glad you've touched on that. So Claire just mentioned the product of the month, or that was mentioned before. So I don't even talk about the product of the month as an incentive because they don't get it anyway, because they're just enrolling with a kit. You only get the product of the month through the Loyalty Rewards program. I do talk about the Loyalty Rewards program, but I do a very simplified description of it. I don't go in and just say, and you put 100 PV and then you get 10 PV back, and then you get 10 PV for the shipping points, and 20 PV will get you this. And then you go up to 15%. And like, if you make it too complex, you'll lose people. So just keep it really simple. It's like a frequent flyers program. It's a monthly order. It's really easy to manage and change, and you get rewarded for that lifestyle replacement program, being accountable for being proactive about your health.
One thing I like to mention is that you basically get free oils every single month because you're getting points for your shipping. Even if it's something small like a lemon, you're still getting something free every single month. Whereas no other program does that. You have to build up like over how much time to actually go to get something small for free.
Exactly. So you've got like your rewards credit card, or you've got your Woolworths rewards or something like that. And you compare the difference between doTERRA's rewards program and one of those cards, or you're just shopping for 5 years. You're shopping for 5 years, and then you get a free toaster or something like that. Like you don't really, when you compare them, it's crazy. So there's a couple of things that we always touch on, and we always talk about the doTERRA difference. Coming back to all seen, Healing Hands Foundation, the ethical nature of the business, sourced from around the world, supports the global economy. It's not just a company in the States with US farms that are all owned by the US and just centered in that one concentration.
So my son's at his very first swim development meet. My husband keeps sending me all these results, and I have to undo the whole case because my little buttons.
Oh yeah.
I turned it down. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. It's all good.
He won 50 freestyle.
Oh, well done.
Actually, I'm so proud of him because he's beat people that are very, very good. So
Oh, beautiful. You must have used oils.
He
Must have
does
had the
use
oils.
every day. Love him.
He's the fast
Awesome.
one.
Yeah, fast blend.
I didn't know if there was any on this morning, but that's it.
Cool.
He'll be needing all these
Ice blue
ice
rubs.
blue on his legs tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Good on him. How old's your boy?
9.
Oh, wow. That's so good. Well done. Certified pure therapeutic grade. We just say they're 100% pure. This gives us the peace of mind to be able to use them for ourselves and our family, our children, with peace of mind. And a lot of people ask us, are they organic? And we say they're better than organic. They're 100% pure. Cost per drop is really good. I usually grab a 15 ml bottle of frankincense, and I say, this is $85 for a 15 ml bottle of frankincense. And some people kind of gasp at that and go, whoa, $85. That's pretty expensive. But when you break it down at a cost per drop, it's only 29 cents for a drop of frankincense. When we look at the benefits of frankincense, they're amazing. And you compare that to something like a Panadol, which on average is around about 50 cents for a single dose of Panadol. You're going to be doing your body a far better job in relieving the root cause problems than disguising the issues with Panadol. And when it comes to compliance during your workshop, this is what I recommend you do. So remember the book. You're not there. Sorry, I'm just going to jump in and just move this. And mute. You're not there making claims, and there are some guides to what you can and can't say. Yes, we are a little bit more free in our freedom of speech in a workshop environment, especially when you're sharing personal experiences. So in a workshop, I can say, Renee suffered with irritable bowel syndrome for 6 months and she found a solution in peppermint essential oil. That's personal experience. I can't go onto social media and say, I have the cure for IBS. Yeah, see the difference between that? So we do have a little bit more freedom in our workshops, and this is why they're so powerful too. But what I do is I get a essential oil in our Bible, which we like to call our essential life or our modern essentials. And I just open the book on an oil like frankincense, and I say the essential oils are developed and researched by science and research. And there's a bit of research and information in this book about some articles. And these are some of the uses for cancer. Sorry, for frankincense. For cancer. For frankincense. So you can see some of the uses for frankincense,
You're not allowed to say this.
cancer and tumours. I'm just reading a book. Seizures and trauma, Alzheimer's disease, dementia and brain injury, depression, wound healing and wrinkles, scars and stretch marks, sciatica, back pain, headaches, immune system and cellular health, list goes on. I've just said some things, but I'm just reading and showing people where to find the information.
That covers probably everybody's ailments of some sort,
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, everybody's is pretty much. I've got that one. I've got that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Frankie Boy. And you get Frankie Boy in the kit too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Frankie
That's a
Boy's.
sellable
Mm.
thing, isn't it? So you'll be getting this, and this alone is $85.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, well, if price is a thing, and usually that's the difference between people getting a home essentials kit and essential collection, or they're just not sure if they're going to get a lot of use out of the oils, they'll start with the essential collection. If they've used oils before, money's not really a problem. They get the home essentials kit and they save $120 anyway. It's the most cost-effective kit, in my opinion, like out of all of them. Exactly. So remember, use the book. It's the expert. Hold it up, read it. I'm just reading the book here. I'm not making claims, just reading the book. Cool. And that leads us on to compliance. I already touched on the freedom of speech in workshops, you sharing experiences, third-party stories. Just try not to be too passionate about those product claims and let the tongue fly and start just dwelling on those chronic conditions that you. Yeah, I know it's passion, right? Because you know the oils work, right? Mm-hmm. And you just want to tell people. You just want to be like, I've seen this and I've seen that, and then this and that. Yeah, just be aware of the passion rather than compliance, because compliance sounds really sounds scary.
Job.
Compliance
officer.
There you go. So you probably found it as you walk the office. Did people like go, she's coming, she's coming. Don't say anything. Charlotte, she's coming. So don't not say anything, just be wise about what you do say and how you say it. Do what I just said. Grab the book, let it be the expert, read it out, tell people that it's scientifically backed and researched.
What would you say to someone, because it mentions about cancer, like if people go, oh no, it can't cure cancer, because obviously you're not saying that anyway, but like how would you describe the effects it does have from the oils? Like is it something that, because people might be like, oh hang on a sec, you're saying it cures cancer, you know what you want to say.
Perfect.
Like it says cancer there,
Yeah.
like how does that,
That's good question. Yeah, so when somebody says, are you saying it cures cancer? And they're giving you the eyes as well, and they're waiting for a rise. You remain present and calm, connect to your body consciousness. Don't let the emotions come in and start going in protection mode. What I'm saying is there's research to show that frankincense can help support the treatment of cancer. And it's illustrated in this book here. At no point am I claiming to have the cure for cancer. And I want to make sure that's clear.
Because you can't use oils in chemotherapy, can you? Because I heard that recently on the group. Or is that?
It's, I think that's a personal choice. That's up to the person who is going through chemotherapy or whatever chosen therapies they're doing.
I know someone that just had is it vasectomy? Is that what it's called? No, it's not. What's the one?
Mastectomy.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, I knew that wasn't right.
Vasectomy is for the men.
I realized it's right. I know something like that. That's not right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that I might suggest that to her, and just say, is that something that you would be willing to try?
Yeah.
She's got a lot of chemotherapy and stuff like that coming up, so. Yeah, I just want to be able to say, it doesn't cure it, but yeah, okay, that's a good way. It helps the process of treatment. That's probably a good way
It
to
helps
say.
support
Yeah.
the treatment, absolutely. So it's good to allow, the guys that have gone out and spent 6 to 10 years in university and paid huge, university bills to get the title of being a doctor and their areas of expertise to be the stars, and the oils just come along and support the body. Yeah, just let them do the work that they need to do, and honor and respect the choices that people make as well. If they choose to go through chemotherapy, then just be a good friend and love and support them during that time, and go in and you know, give them an aroma touch technique or a hand massage, or put on the diffuse with frankincense. You don't have to push your beliefs onto other people, because what happens is they just go in the opposite direction. There is a couple of documents on product claims that doTERRA have available. That's the link there. It's also on your USB drives under doTERRA resources is the folder. But just be wise with your words, be compliant, don't be radical, because you'll get a slap on the wrist and possibly have your account taken off you. I don't think anybody here would be crazy enough to go around and making big claims like that anyway. Always share the opportunity, always. So this is something that we didn't do when we first started, probably because we had a little bit of fear around it. We didn't have the confidence. Does everybody here know Jessie Reimers? Follow her on Facebook, heard of her, seen a video, seen a Brad Yates EFT course and training. One thing she did from day dot is shared the opportunity, shared the opportunity to share and build a business. And I found that as a common theme across the board for all of these highly successful people that we recently went on this Alaska mastermind trip. They always shared the opportunity. And some of them are in Jessie's team, and they described how straight up she was like, so do you want to do this or not? And that's one approach. But then we also have the gateways or the doorways of openness as well, and just planting the seed. You can live, share, or build. Would you be open to hosting a workshop, earning your product for free? Always share the opportunity. If we don't share the opportunity, or if we have blocks around it, it's going to be hard to build a business. You have to do that. And if you are struggling with that, then I suggest you have a look at some of the tapping videos that are on your USB drive. Stand proudly behind the Loyalty Rewards program. Another thing that we did when we first started out is we didn't own LRP because we assumed that not everybody would want to be on it. And no, not everybody wants to be on the Loyalty Rewards program. That's fine. You've got to respect that. But when you stand proudly behind it and you say people, you know, it's the smartest or the most intelligent way to buy your products. Some people say it's the only way. And I like to think of it as the lifestyle replacement program. It's supporting our healthy lifestyle choices. And if you can't afford LRP, you need to be on LRP because you're getting so rewarded for that loyalty. Yeah. You're getting your shipping redeemed in free product. You actually get more free product than what you do in paying for your shipping. You pay $10 for shipping, you get 10 points, which is worth around about $12 to $13 worth of product. So stand proudly behind it. You can earn up to 55% off retail prices. Close your class effectively. So this is where, remember, you're closing from when you open. Don't just think close as, oh, it's the end of my class and I've got to get everyone to sign up. You're closing and you're putting a perception and an opinion on people as soon as you open. As you set your intention, you're closing. But it's really important to make it fun and engaging, give people the experiences. You can choose to close off with the aromatic dressing. That's one thing Vanessa Jean does. We occasionally do that. We always do the raffle of the cleaner. Book classes from classes. So if you found the information that I've shared today useful and like to share that with your family and friends, what I offer is a free host gift or a free host goodies bag. And you can also earn the commissions from the workshop that you host. You get 20% of what everyone buys in the first 60 days. If you're interested in that, just come and see me at the end. We'll have a look at some dates. Always invite people to book a class from a class. You can get a series of class, booking class from a class, and this generation, my sister-in-law, who's a gold, she shared with me a month or so ago, like, she's like, this is an 8th generation class. I booked a class from a class. And it was cool because she like just started doing it at that first one, and it was going like again and again and again. Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Sure. Yes.
Always have a diary or an electronic calendar that you can, check your availability and book it in at that point in time when they've said yes. Have your host gift your book or your goodies bag to be able to give to them at that point in time. You're giving them something, they're committing to a date, and the arrangement's being made.
Before they host.
I do, and
The gift at the class, like whatever, whether if you're giving them a book or whatever, you give that to them at the class, but you give a little bag with the samples and the magazine and stuff like that. You give that.
I give them the goodies bag at the class they're attending, not the class they're hosting. And then some people say, I present my host the present or the gift in front of everybody. Like when I'm saying welcome and thank you to the host, what you can do if you're giving them the goodies bag or the book or whatever at the class they're attending and booking their class at, is at their class to say, thank you very much to blah, blah, blah for hosting this workshop today. Just so you guys know, the host will be getting 20% of the commissions, or, they'll be getting all of the commissions, which is 20% of whatever you guys purchased today. So generally what that does is people go, oh, she's getting 20%, and they want to support her. And they also see it as a compelling reason to host a workshop themselves. So you don't necessarily have to be giving them something at that point in time.
Instead of the gift, say for example, you give the book.
Yeah.
If they take the commissions, they don't get the book.
Yes, because I've had some that just have said, no, I just want these for, I've got specific oils, they've had like a $35 wholesale membership, and I've just want specific oils. I'm not interested in sharing or doing anything like that. So then I give them the book to use with their oils.
So that is one way that you can do things. Just always make sure you place people under the host, because what the host might do is say, oh, all those people that came to my event, what happened to them? If you've just placed them anywhere around your team, then they're going to feel duped.
Well, I'm going to start now doing that.
Yeah, that's okay. If you haven't done it, past is the past, and we found the magical way to do things too.
I don't do a paper workshop. I haven't been like 20 million people. So I think I'll start doing the commissions now for everybody.
If you can, it's like do everything that you can to get the host to be the enroller. So some ways that I suggest you do that is, say, at the end of the class, even if you haven't had the chance to talk about it before the class, take a bit of time out at the end of the class once everyone's filled out their sheets and just say, look, we've got all of these sheets here. I've got 6 enrollment kits. You can earn 20% of that if you want. Let's have a look at your wish list, and we'll see how we can find the best way for you to pay for that wish list. Because generally the host is a little bit more passionate about the oils than everybody else in the room, and they've got a whole bunch of oils that they want to get, and they want to get a diffuser, all that sort of stuff. And you just say, cool, just put in 100 PV loyalty rewards program. You can change that next month. If you're not enrolling anybody, you can go down to 1 product if you want, but we're going to cover the costs for your wish list, your first order. And they go, ping, awesome. And what that does is it provides the opportunity for people to wake up to the opportunity that doTERRA has to earn money. So make sure.
Next oil for free, you pay $200 to get your $20 bottle of oil free.
Yep. And then what you have people in your organization, as long as you structure it and present this opportunity in the best way possible, people that are earning enough money to cover their monthly order, and they're being loyal with their loyalty rewards program. They're putting 100 PV in, but they're getting paid $200 a month. They're getting money in return. And then that's a real opportunity for them to go, like, what do I need to do? How do I start doing this? And then you just say, oh, this is what you can do. You can host a workshop. You can, here's a mentoring program. You can do it this, and this way.
Yeah.
So it's really providing that opportunity for people to wake up. This is something that was taught by Vanessa and Paul Ovens, and how they created their tree of love, and providing that opportunity for people to wake up.
Lauren,
Yes.
In regards to placing the guests under the host, what if, like, I'm still starting, I'm building my first league. If I'm going to put people under someone else's, how I'm going to build my league?
Yep.
Because you enroll the host, and then she enrolls everybody else.
Well, what if the host is not enrolled yet? She just wants to host because she likes it, but she's not enrolled yet, and she doesn't want to enroll.
Yep. So if the host doesn't want to enroll, then there's not really much, and she's adamant about it. Remember, you're at the end of the workshop, you're going, I've got all of these enrollment forms. Most of the time they're gonna, like, this is very rare that the host won't have or won't be getting a wholesale account. If it does happen that way, then I would sit down with them and go through the same process and talk about, you can get 20%, you get all these oils paid for, and 99% of the time they're going to realize and go, okay, cool, I'll do that. I might even just get the $35 introductory kit and do the 100 PV LRP. Yep. And just make sure they have that 100 PV LRP template set in place before you enroll anybody in their name. Otherwise, they'll miss out on that fast start bonus. You'll get your 10% because you enrolled the host. They won't get their 20%, and then up the line to 5%.
Sorry, just a thing that just came to my mind. If they open a wholesale account with $35 introductory pack, do they have to order oils as well that day, or can they just get the introductory pack and then do an LRP for the next month?
Yes, they can get an introductory pack and then have an LRP set
so they don't
for the
have
following
to
month.
buy oils with the introductory.
No. I always suggest, I always encourage people to get a kit and at minimum the essential collection, because what happens with the introductory packet is you just get a bunch of paper and it's kind of boring. And with the essential collection kit, you get those 10 base oils that is the basis of the oils, basically. Like the 10 most popular oils is the reason why doTERRA put those two kits together that have the most uses amongst them. We'll go a bit more over the placement strategy a bit in the placements portion. Just mindful of time and getting you guys to lunch. Who's hungry? Everybody. Okay, so we'll fly through this. So I touched on assuming the sales. Direct everybody to the enrollment form. So we grab the enrollment form, and just briefly at the end, and we say, this is where you fill out your name, etc. Show them where they need to put their details. So you put your name here, you put your date of birth, your phone number. If you want the Home Essentials kit, then just tick that box. If you want the Essential Collection, just write it here. And if you want some other oils, write it there. I'll also just need your credit card details down the bottom. Just pop those in. And if you need a hand, I'll come around and help you fill that out. Thank everyone for coming. And remember to make that the natural cleaner. It's a good time to do that when everybody's filling out their forms. Just if nobody has any questions, just go, I'm just going to make the natural cleaner, get the lemon, get the On Guard, 10 to 15 drops of each, fill it with water, raffle it off, bit of fun. And as Obama there is just saying, phew, I'm lucky I had my checklist. So it may seem a little crazy, all of these things that I've said, but it's all in the checklists. You could just have it on your folder or on your clipboard that you've used to find out what people want to learn, and you've got your checklist there as well. It's a little sneaky one that nobody knows about, and you just sort of like, oh yeah, I've said that, done that. You might do that for the first 2 or 3 times, and then it'll just come naturally.
Why is the smaller kit not an option to just tick on there? Why do you...
It's a very good question. I don't know.
that, isn't it?
I don't know if they've done that on purpose or they've just forgotten it.
Is it not like down the bottom?
No, it's not on there.
Not there at all.
And
Yeah.
also the option just to get the $35 wholesale account.
Yeah,
It's not in there either.
no.
Okay, it's intentional.
Oh, it is. It is. Top one, top option. WA introductory packet. Top option. Jack needs to see that close.
I took the other day. I
Oh,
picked
okay,
all up and I wrote it.
That's fine. It's all good.
Nice.
All right, so we're gonna break up into some. If you guys are hungry now, what we might do is we might go and grab some lunch, and we'll take up our sheets with us, and we're just gonna, after we've had some food in our bellies, we're just gonna present or just a quick little. We're gonna be in groups of 4, so just 2 to 3 minutes each max, just talking about a part that's most challenging for you. So it could be talking about the Loyalty Rewards program, or it could be closing and talking about how to fill out the form, or it could be
Very embarrassed talking
the
about
opportunity.
money. Like asking for money and things like that is very embarrassing for me.
Yep.
So that would be.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. So you know what you're going to work on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pause this recording. We will be back after lunch. So we should be back in about half an hour, 45 minutes, because we're going to do an activity as well. All right, so welcome back. We're just going to go over enrolling and just some of how to do it. The first thing that we wanted to talk about was always enrolling in the host name. We sort of touched on this a little bit before when we were talking about presenting. And the reason why we do that, just like we spoke about before, it's an opportunity for the host to wake up to the opportunity and also to earn their oils for free. Remember, earn your oils for free, host a workshop, earn your oils for free. We're extending our network that way and extending our reach. So things that you can do, I mentioned this earlier, I'll brush over this pretty quickly. If you want to earn 20% of the stuff that your people have purchased for the next 60 days, then you just need let's have a look at your wish list. We'll have a look, go through that, and I'll show you how you can get that 20%. Show them how they're better off with a kit to start with, and then using the commissions that they want with that wish list to pay for that wish list. And always show them how to manage their LRP, how to change it, and remind them as well. This is a big thing. Even not just hosts, but everybody who you're showing the benefits of Loyalty Rewards program. It's worthwhile just putting a reminder in your phone, flicking them a text message when it's due and saying, hey, remember you got your LRP due? And I'm sure they'll be thankful. Even though they do get an email from doTERRA, it's just another form of saying, hey, remember, you got to look at your Loyalty Rewards program. Let me know if you need a hand. 3 ways to enroll. Number 1, enrollment forms. We've already looked at that on your 3 sheets that you get. It's going to come in a beautiful perforated form when doTERRA start shipping them out to us. Have people fill that out. And the beauty of that is because it gets you in and out of the host environment as quick as possible, because as we know, we have the intention to be there for 40 minutes, an hour to do our EO1 101 workshop. 2 hours later, you still haven't left, right? If you're going to process the enrollments then and there, just get comfortable. You might be sleeping the night, right? So get them. That's the benefit of filling out the forms. Take them home, fill them out over a cup of tea or a glass of wine, whatever you prefer. The other option is over the phone. So you could either guide people through it if there's somebody who likes to be in control and behind the keyboard and going through the process themselves. Some people don't even like to give you their details on the enrollment form. If somebody ever says to me, oh, my credit card details on that, I just say, it's okay. I'm keeping them safely. I dispose, I shred those details, that I'm not keeping them on file. If someone's adamant they don't want to give you their credit card details, then just say, that's fine, I'll give you a call at an arranged time and we'll go through the process together. Or direct them to your website. You've got the link. I've also got a guide on my website that I send people to, and sometimes people just go there themselves and enroll themselves, and that's a beautiful moment.
He doesn't have many beautiful words.
She didn't know about it, don't worry. I just don't you worry about what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
one of
Don't
those.
look, I'm not spending money.
I just need this much money each month. I just need to get part from here.
There you go. Yeah, so use your doTERRA website, use it yourself. It's probably the easiest way to enroll people, especially when you're enrolling them personally, because it puts your details in the enroller and the sponsor fields as you go through that enrollment process. Remember to change it if you're enrolling in the host name and the sponsor. So support. So this is when people have got their wholesale account and they need their welcome email to start with. Support also extends beyond just, these people that are just getting their kits. This is a long-term relationship that you want to hold with these people. So it's important to nurture and care for these people. It's very important, first and foremost, to welcome your peeps to their doTERRA adventure. I send a welcome email. I keep it really simple, but I attach a welcome booklet, which we've just released for everybody to tag onto and use. I've also got the Word version of that. It's on the USB drives and all the other places I've mentioned. And you can customize that to what you want, like your details to be. So you can modify that welcome booklet and have your Facebook groups, your email addresses, etc. Anything you want to change, you can do it on there. Just try and keep it simple. But the main objective of that welcome email is just to give people a bit more information and invite them along to their wellness consult and just get them connected to those communities so they can start asking questions in our Pure Oz Facebook group or a Facebook group that you guys have, and also add them to that monthly newsletter so they get more information about promos and the way people are using the oils. Like I said before, scheduling a wellness consult. This is the first step that everyone needs to do. And the reason why is you address their top 3 health priorities. You also empower them with reference material. So you make sure they've got the app or one of the books, or at least websites that they can go to, or they know how to get the app and the book. It also shows them how they can use the oils that they've already got. So you're not necessarily just trying to on-sell more oils to them, but you're showing them how to get the most out of the oils they already have. And yeah, you want to make sure that you're going in with that intention. You're also establishing a daily routine. So you're showing the people how they can use these oils on a daily basis. And even if they don't have any health concerns and you're using them to address everybody else's and clean, make a natural cleaner, something like that.
And then if they only use it in a diffuser, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have health concerns to use. That's right. Have it in a diffuser.
Yeah, something
Exactly.
that I think Vicky's been saying recently is that or somewhere, I can't remember where, maybe somewhere else, start with what you have right, not what you have wrong, and then go from there, because
Yeah, absolutely. Positive reinforcement, especially for yourself. Loving yourself, you got to love yourself before you love others. And if you're constantly downing and doubting and putting yourself down, then how can you lift others up? So that's a little off track, but anyway, could do that full day course on that one. You're telling them about the benefits of the loyalty rewards program and how to log into their wholesale account and how to set up and manage your loyalty rewards program. So what I do is after I've done the health priorities, the oils that can help, other things that will help them as well, oils they've got, oils they can get, establish a daily routine, and then I log into their wholesale account and I show them how to create a loyalty rewards program order at the same time as explaining to them. So on their live guide, I just get the live guide and I turn to page 14 or 15 it is, where it has those tables that we're looking at before, where it says, 55% at different thresholds, and I show them how to create that loyalty rewards program order. As we're going through that and we're creating it and we're adding the oils that they can benefit from, I then just give them the choice at that stage and say, we can just finish off this order now, and that's going to be set for this date, and it's going to be a monthly order. Or if you prefer, you can come back in later and modify it. 9 times out of 10, people just say, yep, just set that, I'll get them next month, and then you show them how they can change it the following month after that. So they're straight on LRP when you do the wellness consult. Ways to encourage people to do the wellness consult. The protocol is that you do a wellness consult once you've got a wholesale account or a kit. And that's so I can show you how to get the most out of your oils, you're using them safely, and you're getting the most out of your wholesale account. So that's the protocol that you can say to people to further invite them, or show them the importance of getting the wellness consult.
So I've if I'm doing a one-on-one, I kind of do the wellness consult at the same time, because I've got all my oils that they're using. So that's like, I don't have to go back a week later when they get their oils. I just do it then and there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you're doing one-on-ones, one of the ways that I just started doing them, and Rob shared, is just go straight to a wellness consult. And when people contact me and say, oh, what's this oils thing? And can you help me with this? I say, yeah, come around for a wellness consult. And we just wrap it all up into one thing, and you're just tuning straight into what they need. So I think that's probably one of the best ways to do a one-on-one. Just go straight into a wellness consult. We also have a wellness consult guide. So on the front of that EO 101 checklist is the wellness consult checklist, another checklist, which of half of it is just talking about how you can tell people and invite them, tell people the importance of the wellness consult and how to invite them to do a wellness consult, and also a couple of scripts there of things that you can say to different types of people. So to ensure you're getting the most out of your oils and using them safely would be maybe to a mother. I'll also show you how to access your wholesale account and how to get your oils at the best prices. This might be somebody who's more money focused and might be concerned about the cost of stuff. We'll take a look at your top 3 health priorities and set up a daily routine for you. But this is somebody who might feel like it's a bit overwhelming and are a bit lost in the sea of information, but they have health concerns. Bring along your oils, and I'll show you how to get the most out of them. So this could also be for people who are overwhelmed, and I actually invite everybody to bring their enrollment kit with them to their wellness consult. Quite often I'll find that some people haven't even opened their oils, and they come a month later, sometimes even 6 months, and their oils are still in the wrapper, haven't even opened them.
I don't like, how can you spend that much money and not actually open and smell and use it? Like
Grabbing mine out of the delivery man's arms.
You see purple boxes.
Box now.
You see any purple box, they come straight to me.
Take the little knife to the door, and I'm doing the box as you have.
Greg answers the door. Don't you give him these purple boxes? And some people offer an incentive for people who book a wellness consult at the time of enrollment. So that's another thing that you could do as well. So this is how you do a wellness consult. If you just flip over to the page, which is the wellness consult template, and you'll see that there's a page number on the bottom that says 12. That's because this is taken directly out of the Live Guide. So the Live Guide, I give this to everybody who comes along to a wellness consult, because I just fly through the first part. I just go, here's the way you can use some of the other products. So people get an awareness that doTERRA isn't just about oils. There's also supplements and skincare products, etc., that you can get and use. So I go through the wellness consult on page 12, and this is where we address or list their top 3 health priorities, products that they have, and additional products that will support them. I also make sure they have their reference material, like I mentioned before, and use yours. You don't have to have all the answers. One of the cool things about this wellness consult, this new template that's just been released, is the answers are all on the back.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So you don't even have to have your book. If you've forgotten your book, that's cool. Flip over the page and people will say, oh, okay, yeah, I've got digestive support or digestive system issues. Essential oils you need: digestin, peppermint, cardamom, ginger, fennel, spearmint, and there's some supplements as well. So you can write down straight away if they've got the essential collection or the home essentials kit. Digestin is going to help them, and so is peppermint. But then there's some other products that they could get that could support them as well, like the PB Assist, or they could do a full-on detox and get the GX and PB Assist.
You remind me after people are going to talk to you about that.
Yes, no worries, I will.
I just need to know how to use it properly.
Okay, yeah, it is a little, you can do it a couple of different ways. Yeah, so the answers are there. It's really, really simple. Fill out the schedule. So just below, once you've identified the oils that they have and what they could benefit from, then we come back to this healthy lifestyle plan and we just set up a little bit of a routine. So I've just listed the oils on this. It's up to you if you want to be a little bit more specific and say, 2 to 3 drops of balance underneath each feet. Some people aren't comfortable with doing that. I do. I make it quite specific so it's easy to follow and people can follow that routine. Yeah, just make sure you use the book and you're referring to that and you're showing people that it's the book you're getting the answers of. You're not like diagnosing, preventing or curing, some health concerns that they may be listing. You're just looking at what the book says and then you're just writing it out in a plan for them. Some people will even go to the length of getting the person who's having the wellness consult write it out. It's completely up to you. Down the bottom, just underneath that healthy lifestyle plan, you've got a couple of tick boxes. Use them. And typically when I do a wellness consult with people, everybody gets the recommendation of lemon every day in their water to start their day. And they also get balance because everybody can benefit from lemon and balance. Lifelong vitality as well. That's there as a tick box. Everyone can benefit from that. So use those tick boxes and incorporate them into the lifestyle plan. There is an option there to include some other wellness choices that may be of benefit to people. And it could be something along the lines of, practice mindfulness or meditation, or it could be exercise and movement. It could be a dietary recommendation. Just remember, unless you are a qualified professional, just be careful that you're not prescribing something, but there's no harm in just saying, I do this and it's really changed my health and happiness. I drink more water now, etc. Now, down the bottom, this section here, this is where I actually log into their account and show them how to set up the loyalty rewards program. And what we can do is you can see lemon and balance, lemon and balance, lemon and balance. They're 2 products that you'll use on a monthly basis and everyone will get the benefits from. So quite easy to get something every month, right? And then depending on what they're working on, so this person was working on weight management. So they'll probably go through a Smart and Sassy as well on a monthly basis. And then you can build up that collection over time as well. And you can see quite easily, there's only 4 oils or 4 products in each of those orders, and they're over 100 PB. So you're showing people how easy it is to get rewarded by getting products on a monthly basis that are going to support their healthy lifestyle choices. Yes.
Please tell me you wouldn't suggest someone does a PB of 124.5 when they could go.
Yeah, I know.
125 and get a free product.
Oh,
Ah.
On you.
Yes, you guys might be loved, but she's the star. Yeah, very good point. Yep. And
The lip gloss, lip balm, yeah. So,
gold star for you both too. Well done. Yep. Absolutely. If they're that close to 125, just tell them it's an opportunity to say, if you did this on or before the 15th, then you get the free products of the month. Very good. So I've done a separate slide for this because it is really important to remind your new enrollees to change their LRP. The last thing is you want is disgruntled people, new people to get the same thing again and again. And I have heard people, claim scam and, that sort of stuff, like who obviously have deeper issues they need to sort through, but they just didn't change their LRP. It's not a scam. So do remind people, set a reminder up for it, and do what's necessary just to help them in managing that LRP. It's a new thing that they're learning. You can also send them to the doTERRA University videos or doTERRAeveryday.com.au. This is Australia's website. That's all the Australia specific with our promos. It's also got hints, tips, and essential bits, price lists, all the events, information, and everything. So that's a website that you guys will use and refer to on a regular basis. So placements. So who here feels they've got it going on with placements?
When I get some more to place, I'll tell you.
That's cool.
I think I have now because you've kind of shown me.
Yep. Good. We might have a guest appearance on the whiteboard.
Sorry?
We could have a guest appearance on the whiteboard.
Ooh.
On the whiteboard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Take it away, Rob.
No. No, I'm not gonna. I'm still not overly confident to talk today.
That's cool. Start explaining it to your partner way too late at night, so they'll never understand. It's the best way to do it.
And they say, I don't care, just do what I'm telling you.
it's like a video.
Yeah, I don't care. Stop it. So a couple of points. Always, these might seem a little bit obvious, but always remember, I've got a couple of underlined always in this presentation, always remember to do your placement changes. Yeah, just do them. Set a reminder for yourself, because it's a new thing, just like the LRP. You have to remember to do those placement changes. You get 14 days, but it includes the day of enrollment, so it's actually 13 really. So a comparison between an enroller and a sponsor. So the enroller is either you or the host or person who's referred the oils to the people who are enrolling. The sponsor is where you're placing the person in a structure. So it doesn't necessarily, they don't have to necessarily support the person who's above them. Potentially in the future they may, or they may end up even working with the person who's placed underneath them once they wake up to the opportunity, and you get to give them a bit more information and say, oh, remember that workshop that you hosted and your good mate Jen, she enrolled? Yeah, the one that was like over the moon about the oils and wanted to already tell everybody about them. Yeah, her. She actually wants to do the business now, and she's underneath you. And then you're starting that relationship there. So that's one leg that's already like started to be created for that host. Yeah. So there is potential to hand over that stewardship to the sponsor, and then say, when it comes time for me to gift over the enrolleeship to you, or whatever the situation, wherever they're placed and whoever the enroller is, they can be gifted. So the person who's the sponsor at present, other person below them, this person can become the enroller if this person up here is presently in the enroller, as long as there's a commitment and a stewardship and a relationship with these two people. Get placements right from the start. just immerse yourself in it. Focus on building 2 legs. This is where the power of 3 confusion comes in. It comes over time, but it's not what you focus on to start with. We're focusing on building 2 legs and working towards premier, not diamond or platinum to begin with. We don't start building 4 legs. We start with 2 legs. You're just spreading yourself out too much if you start to build 3 or 4 legs to start from. Prioritize. So you got 1, 2, 3 there. Mentioned that before. Potential sharers and builders at the top, potential sharers or hosts, and then just people who are going to live and use the product. This could be a gut felt, intuitive reason, but you've prioritized people these ways. Sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you have a wellness consult and you'll provide that opportunity. You'll talk about the thresholds, 150, 100, you can earn commissions. Oh, tell me more about that. That's an opportunity for you to go, okay, well, we know you can live, share, or build. It's up to you. Oh, I'll be interested in that. That's a surefire thing. You've got a response. Somebody said they're interested in that, right? So you're going to prioritize them, 1 or 2, where you might just have a gut feeling that this person is going to be a subconscious or an unconscious sharer and just tell the world about these amazing oils, and they're really social and they're great with bringing people together. They could also be a 1 and a 2 and wake up to the opportunity.
Could you just go back 1 step?
Yeah.
No, the following slide.
Oh, sorry.
When you say focusing on building 2 legs. When do we stop building 1 leg to start building a new one? You ideally want to have 2 legs going at the same time. Yeah, focus on 2 legs. But remember how we talked about that the $1 million real estate at the top, having somebody that you really want to work closely with for a long period of time. Ideally, that's what you want to have, somebody on that top line. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen that way, and there's no point in just building 1 leg forever. You got to start that 2nd leg at one point, and the start of that 2nd leg might be a 2, a person who's just hosting a workshop. But what happens is that 2, they may get you to a certain rank, but then as you continue on in your journey, you might have somebody who comes down in the 4th, the 5th, the 7th level, who you've enrolled, who becomes your new ranking person in your team or in that leg, in that line. So you have a leg, a line, that's a rank, that's a qualifying leg. You have a leg, a line, that's a qualifying leg. And you can only qualify once of 1 person in those legs. So it doesn't matter if your leg goes starts with 1 person, then it goes out to 30 people on the top line and then 100 people below. You can't go, oh, but I've got 3 elites and they're all in the 1 leg. They need to be in separate legs to qualify as a silver. I'm going to whiteboard it out to make more sense. I can see a couple of blank looks on faces at the moment, but I guarantee you that it's the most strategic part of the business, but it is important that you do get it right. Otherwise, you may lose faith in the opportunity that presents, and it can be very generous when you do put the time and effort into understanding the strategy and how to do placements. Keep building down. I know some people go, oh, I'm 20 people down in 1 line. I haven't found a builder. There's standard compression and dynamic compression that just skips out all of those people and pushes them up. And, if none of them are on 100 PVRP, then nobody's getting paid until you do have somebody on 100 PVRP. That's just standard compression, how that works. So, when you're placing people, no, you don't want to go too far down. If you've got heaps of people on LRP in that 1 leg, in that 1 line, because you do stop getting paid after 7 levels deep, and that is 7%. But it doesn't mean that you can't rank off that person who's on the 20th level, even if everybody is on an LRP. Anyway, that's getting a little confusing. The intent of this portion of placements, if you think this is confusing, wait until we get to the advanced section, is to keep it really simple. So the next little presentation, it's kooky little theme music, how to do sponsor changes.
Log into your doTERRA virtual office at www.mydoterra.com. Once you have logged into your virtual office, you will automatically be taken to your Shop tab. Click on the Team tab in the top portion of your screen. In the upper left-hand portion of your screen, you will notice a section called My Business. In this section, you will have access to several tools that will help you understand important aspects of your team. Click on the Sponsor Changes link. In this screen, you will be able to simply make sponsor changes to any new personally enrolled wellness advocates as long as it is done within 14 days of the enrollment. Input the changes that you would like to be made and click on the Verify button. Once it has been verified, you can click on the Confirm button. A wellness advocate who personally enrolls a new wellness advocate that achieves the rank of Premier within 90 days of enrollment will be allowed, in coordination with their upline leadership, to place the new enrollee anywhere within their organization. Even if a sponsorship change has been made within 14 days of enrollment, this move can be made after the enrollee has filled out the Premier move.
Okay, I'm not going to go into that part.
Sorry.
You're right.
Something the name they put in there.
What was it?
Mike and the surname.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I know.
I'm sorry, I missed everything after that name. I had no idea what was said. I'm like,
Wow. Yeah.
At first,
See,
I
that's-
bet you didn't realise you could not move sponge up.
Form found on double.
Wow. Yeah. You can tell the Americans put that one together.
So are they like,
Serious?
do you think they're just saying people are awake?
Yeah.
And that music, it's like we're watching play school or something.
So the person presenting probably said to someone, "Oh, can you create a fake name list?" And someone put it in there as a joke, and they didn't pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're
So
still
I
laughing
didn't
about
pick it up straight away. I was like, what? I'm this when I'm going, then I'm realise now, but I was gonna cry.
You girls are just so rude.
Yes.
I know.
I was just
Just
Wasteful.
observe it.
the rest of us didn't even think of that. Thought it was a nice name.
Oh, Michael. I like it called Michael.
I like your last name. Okay, I'm just going to jump onto the whiteboard now. Oh, it still keeps on doing that though. That's fine. Stop.
Whiteboard time.
Whiteboard time. Yay. Boom, 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 boom. Rude names on the We all know who has a
I'm just
filthy
glad
mind
that
now.
I was not alone in seeing that. Thank you, ladies.
I've lost it.
Obviously, I wasn't
That's
watching.
it, I've lost it.
Okay, so this is just a real basic getting started guide. You can see through me, can't you? You can see the board anyway. Okay, so this is you up the top, right? So what you, in the perfect world, want to do is have people on your top line who either are ones, not halves, ones or twos. That's an option, 1 or 2. So ones or twos are 1. Yes, I do have Dr. Scribe. 2. 3 livers. I know that sounds a bit weird. It's a gross looking like liver type thing. That's a kidney, anyway. So this is you up here. This is your $1 million real estate that we spoke about. In a perfect world, yeah, you do have these sharers and builders that are on your top line. What you can do is you could potentially also put somebody who you're practicing on, remember with your family members, do you mind if I practice on you, who's supportive, who could potentially just be a ghost count or a placeholder, we call them. A ghost count or a placeholder. And you know, if it's a loaded uncle or a loaded mum or dad, and they generally might like the oils and they're putting 100 PV LRP in, they can be a qualifying leg for you for people that you're placing underneath them, yeah? And then you can transfer somebody out of that account to somebody who is brand new to come in to that account, who, you've gone through the success strategy. They are committed. They've proven themselves that they can slot into this $1 million real estate. You want to work with them long term. It is quite a crucial decision to make, but that is a strategy for getting somebody into this $1 million real estate that actually wants to do the business. They're duplicating the business, which is what you want.
How many people can you have on that real estate line?
Yep. So ideally, when you first start out, I don't want to see any more than 5 people on your top line. Definitely not more than 10. Yeah, I had 30 people on mine. So if you got 30, if you beat my 30, then
You get the gold award,
then
the superstar award.
yeah, you get a slap on the wrist.
So, sorry, I don't understand this. Getting rid of one and put another one. How do you get rid of one and put another one in?
Yep. So this
What do you
person
do with that
here has
family
to.
member? You just say nick off.
Yeah. So remember, I said this is somebody who's a cheer squad for you.
Yeah.
So they're like a close friend or a family member, and you say to them straight up, would you be able to support me in this and go in my top line? And if it comes to a situation, if you don't want to do the business or continue on with it, can I transfer you out of that account and put somebody else into it? So that is one strategy that you can do when you're first starting out. Another strategy is, that's just one option. There's so many options in placements. The other option is, as you continue to share, and this is a host here for somebody who you've just introduced oils to, they want to earn their products for free, they want to host an event, share the benefits of the oils, they've had personal experiences. And let's just say they start out as a 2 because they're a host, yeah? But then as time goes on and the people who attended their workshop, let's just say this person's also a 2, and then they host a workshop and a couple more people join, they start to get a bit more of an organization, and this person wakes up and they become a 1. And then this person up here, they started out as a 1, and let's just pretend that they're not a placeholder. There's somebody who said in the start that, I'm really committed to this. I'm going to duplicate the business. I'm going to take it all away. But in reality, they're a 2. They're just sharing casually. Don't plan on quitting their jobs or anything like that. Just referring people to you, and that's cool. It's no problem with that at all, because that will probably get to you to a stage of this person being an executive. And to be an executive, you need a volume of 2,000. And then to be a premier, which is one of your first structural goals to head towards, because you've got the 2 legs going. Remember that diagram that we looked at with the 2 executive legs? You need an overall volume of 5,000, and what we call that in doTERRA is OV. And what OV is the overall volume for you and everyone in your organization. Overall volume. PV, personal volume. It also means point value as well when you're looking at it. Product value, point value.
But so does that 5,000 have to come from both legs, or if it's only coming from one leg, you don't
Doesn't matter.
get it?
Doesn't matter. As long as you've got 2,000 here, 2,000 in this leg. So let's just draw a little hypothetical organization here. This person hosts, 1 person joined, so 3 people joined. This person goes, oh yeah, I want to host a workshop too. So you start building another leg for them. See how I'm keeping it to 2 legs when somebody wants to host? I'm not going to go, oh, well, I'll just leave them and forget them on my top line. Don't do that. Or, this person hosts a this person hosts a workshop here. I'm going to put it in this leg because this leg needs the volume. Don't do that either. So back to this hypothetical here before we started going down to 2,000, 5,000 overall. This person is really a 2. They start out at a 1, and that's fine. 2 still will help you out. Everyone, even the 3s, everybody it contributes to your tree of love, right? But this person here, they're a real go-getter, and this person gets you to executive, but then this person, because they're a real go-getter, they start hosting workshops, and they might even build 2 of their own legs, and they just go off and they're just going for it and duplicating the 2 legs like good students they are, and they become a premier. Yeah. So in the future, they actually qualify you for a higher level, not only silver, and you need 3 legs of 3,000 over in each of those legs, which equals 9,000. You're good at maths. So for that silver, we need that 3rd leg to open up and start going, etc. And then this person here, they become a premier. Let's just say this person becomes a premier here because they got 2 legs, and then so is this person. So they've got an overall volume of 5,000 with the 2 by 2,000 legs. So this is one of them. This is another. And then this is a 3rd one that they're just working on to get towards silver. They've just started this one. This one's pretty mature. That one's the original one they first started on. When you get 3 premiers, which is the 2,000 legs and 5,000 overall, that makes you a gold. And gold, they need 3 legs of premier, which is equal to 5,000, which is equal to 15,000 overall volume. So it's these people here, just because these people were in your $1 million real estate to begin with, and they said they were going to be 1s, but really they're not, they're 2s or 3s. It doesn't matter, they'll get you, you'll get to executive. They'll still benefit from these people being underneath them, and they'll stick with you for the long haul, but they may not be duplicating the business. Life may happen, they may not want to, whatever the reason. It doesn't mean that these are the people that you rank off long term. It could be someone here, could be someone down here, doesn't matter.
So is anywhere in your tree, if there's the 3 premiers, say you get that benefit?
As long as you're on the different legs.
Yeah.
So this is a leg here.
Yeah.
This is a leg here, and then this is a leg here.
Baron, you said before about not moving somebody because you're just trying to build volume in that one place. Why would you not do that?
Not moving someone. Sorry, do you want to?
It was just something you said before. You said you wouldn't do that, and I can't think why you said.
I think you said,
Oh, one of the down ones.
don't keep
Oh, right,
putting
yeah,
people under
don't
that
put
link
people up
because
here,
they
yeah,
need
yeah,
the
yeah.
volume.
Okay, cool, yep. No,
When
good question.
someone
Sorry about the
another
confusion.
leg has hosted a class and it's their enrollment, don't put them in another leg.
That was it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So what we call that is filling gaps.
Okay.
So if you're, let's just say you're going for Premier,
Yeah.
and then we have this leg here, and it's got 1,800 in it. This one's already 3,000. This is a strong leg, right? So, but you host a workshop or you do a workshop with somebody here,
Yeah.
and you go that they should always be there, but you go, I'm just gonna pitch this person and put them over here because that gets me
Oh,
to
I
2,000.
see. Yeah. You don't want to do that. But it's not very fair.
Yeah, but like if you enroll someone that
Short
off the
term,
street or whatever, then
short-term win,
Yeah.
long-term loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Potentially, you've lost someone.
Yeah.
Because you've just double-crossed them, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you now. You've drawn it out like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't fill gaps. Always put people where they belong in
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
absolutely. It's honesty,
Yeah.
and it pays off.
That'll win over
Yeah.
in the end. Sure.
Absolutely. So does anybody have any questions about the artwork on the board?
Yeah, I'm still confused. I'm still confused way back at the original one where you put somebody in as a ghost person and then suddenly become someone else? I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah. So just back on the transfer.
We're talking about
Transfers.
how to physically transfer them. Or
So this isn't
Yeah, so if
some.
I've got just say I've got my sister there,
Yep. So
right?
your sister.
So I've got Debbie there, right? Debbie's there.
Deb's here. Cool.
Yep. And then, so then somebody else comes along, who's not my family or whatever.
Yep.
And
Mike comes along.
yeah.
Oh, bloody Mike.
And Mike's your next big thing.
Oh my God. Now, okay, Mike's there.
His
yeah.
name just has a ring to it. I
No,
don't know.
no.
People magnetise to it, especially the blokes. Anyway.
God, now I've got that going. Yeah, so I'm getting visuals and everything. It's not good. So then, take me through that. So then somebody else, some you hotshot comes along. His name is not Mike. It's Cecil. He comes along, and you think you want him there instead of Deb.
Yeah.
How do you do it? What?
Yeah, cool. So in this situation, you never go to Deb, hey, take a hike.
I
Yeah.
say that to her all the time. She's my sister. But
Okay.
in this case, I'm.
Let's just say, Deb, and sometimes you do this for family and friends, and keep them in key positions, even if they're not duplicating the business. They're supporting you. They're there at your workshops, looking after the kids, whatever. You may keep them in that position. It's just a little bit of a side project that
So
I'm
even
talking
if she's
about.
not doing sharing,
If she's doing 100 PVLRP, then
well, you keep her there.
then she can qualify for you.
Yeah, but if she's not doing any,
If she-
you hold her there till some. Okay.
Yeah, you could have a conversation. So just going back on the ghost placeholder strategy, which you can do, is let's just say you have a conversation with Deb when you first starting out and say, Deb would really help me out if I put you on my top line. You did 100 PVLRP, and I understand you don't want to do the business at all. And let's just say she doesn't want to do the business.
Yep.
She does the opposite. She actually says, can you please get me out? I don't want anything. I can't afford the 100 PVLRP anymore. I'm not using my oils. And you go, no worries. Sebastian's come along, and
It was
you've
Cecil
gone-
actually, but don't worry, Sebastian's good.
sorry, Sebastian's good.
Yeah, Sebastian's come along.
He's come along,
Yeah.
and you've gone through the success strategy with him.
Yes.
You've gone through what is involved. They need to be brand spanking new. They cannot have a doTERRA account
Yep.
before. So there's a little bit of risk involved here, yeah? You want to make sure that this is the right choice. But you can transfer some Sebastian, who's brand new, into Deb's account. And what we usually do with Deb is we offer to create a new account elsewhere in your organization. So you pay the $35 and you say, I'm still going to create you another account. It's over here and you can order whenever you want.
Okay, so when I'm setting Step up, how do I physically get off my tree when I'm looking at it? How do I physically get Debbie's name out of there and Seb's name in there? Like,
Perfect.
Can you do that?
So for Seb, what you do is you do a normal enrollment,
Yeah.
and then straight away within 3 days, so within 3 days, you fill out oh no, that's not spelled right, it's a short
Okay.
transfer request.
Okay, that's the bit I didn't understand. I didn't know there was such a thing.
And you send that to placements at doTERRA.
Okay. Now I've got it.
.com.
I didn't know that there was a thing called that.
The transfer request is on your USB sticks under doTERRA resources, I think the folder is called.
And I just say Debbie's had a sex change and she's now Sebastian.
Exactly. Got married to Mike. And I've still lost my words now. Let's get it done.
Sorry, I didn't. No, I do understand now.
Is that?
I'm not really going to write to them and say Deb's had a sex change.
Yeah, I know.
I might tell her when I see her later this afternoon.
The placements people are very black and white. They do not have a sense of humour, so perhaps don't say that.
Obviously they do with their little video.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay,
Alright.
thank you. That's just cleared up that. I didn't know there was a transfer
Unless
request.
it's the real person
Awesome.
who made does Deb need to give her permission, or is it just you saying this is happening, please?
Yes, so Deb, the transfer request form, it's needs signatures from the person who's transferring out and the person who's transferring in. Yeah, it needs to be permission based. You can't just go like whip the carpet out from underneath Deb and holy, what happened to my $1,000 paycheck that's coming through each month? So you know what? I didn't even share that whiteboard with everybody who's online. Yeah. Somebody said, I can't see anything. Cool knows. Okay, thanks.
Anyway.
Olivia, you didn't see that screen the whole time, did you? Could you see the screen?
Yeah, I could.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome.
Yeah. All
This
good.
wasn't big, hey?
No, you're all good.
Yeah, cool. Sorry about that. I just realized I was still screen sharing a black screen.
I can't see you now, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's a relief. All right. I'm just going
If you
to...
hit switch to active speaker, you'll get the other screen back, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. So you guys may have seen it. All right, I'm just going to pause, sorry, stop this recording because that concludes part 3 of today. So thank you for joining us. If you're only watching this section. Did I say part 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That concludes part 2.
Oh, geez, we're all just about to
I know, it's all half an